You. It's too bad that we can't wear this at the field. Honestly.
I mean, you can.
Just wear goggles over top, and then you're fine.
Well, I see it immediately getting shot out, and like someone running, and then getting a bunch of holes in it, and then the head coming down, and then I'm just tripping. That's what I see.
I don't know. I think mine would probably be bad because I would just hurt my ankle even more.
Yeah, you have a tendency
honestly,
of doing that.
like,
That's for sure.
Even this, like, I don't think I could do it.
I think I'll pick the dino costume over anything else. Honestly, it's a barrier of protection.
I don't know. Running around that juggernaut suit is kind of.
Also, where is your costume, by the way?
I'm me. I'm actually Novrich. I'm dressed up as Dayton today.
With the.
What's up,
What's up, guys?
What's up, guys?
Also, we're recording, so let's get it started.
Let's do it.
Okay then.
Hi.
We can edit that out.
I'm gonna take this out because I have no idea what the audio sounds like.
I can't see the sound.
I can't see.
Yeah, speaking of
can't
audio.
see.
Speaking of audio,
Okay, you
what are
can take it
talking
off,
here?
Tack.
I can't swim.
I don't know if I can.
I don't even know if they can hear you through the mic.
That's gross.
Is he gonna have to fully undress?
Yeah, I think
You might wanna
there's
help
a zipper
him.
in the front. You
There's
can
a
stick
zipper in
your
the
head
front.
through.
There you go.
There's a zipper in the front. You reach.
Can you get it from the inside though?
Hold on, we got a wardrobe malfunction. There you go.
Small wardrobe malfunction.
What,
There you go.
what's
You
up?
should turn off the battery.
I was just gonna say, what's up, Jim Carrey?
How you doing, Tack?
I'm Mac.
Sorry, Mac.
It's okay. Don't worry, poor.
I've been calling you Tack this entire
Best
time.
friends or anything.
It's all right. It happens. Apparently,
See, when
today
you
was one of
guys
those
are in
days.
costume, I'm like, shoot, which one's who now?
Who is what?
That's all it took, Tack. Was a mask.
One of us hiding our faces, and they're like, "Which one are you?"
Oh God.
Can you do that as a costume this weekend? Just
Wait,
both of you
Tack.
switcheroo.
For a second, I know this will.
Yeah, I want to see that.
Oh my!
It is pretty.
Oh my goodness!
I didn't say look through them. I said just. put
No,
them
just
on.
close your eyes and look. He does look like you. Now I'm confused even more.
Yeah, who's what?
Who is that Pokemon?
Who is what?
We've been lying to you from the
Okay.
start.
Well, anyways,
Yeah, this is episode 21, guys. We're literally legal in the States now, so cheers.
oh,
Yep, grab it. Do you want one, Dayton? Oh, you got one already. You already got one going.
Man.
All right.
You want me to open that up?
Episode 21. Welcome back to another episode of Panther Airsoft Folding Table Talk, guys. So, Halloween around the corner, literally tomorrow.
thank you.
No, yeah, tomorrow.
For
Tomorrow.
everyone listening and watching
Yeah.
and stuff like that, it is
It is
technically for
tomorrow.
you tomorrow.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
we do this a day before. We are on Thursday time, right?
We're on Friday.
We're on Friday.
I don't know.
You're listening now, and it's Friday.
What day is it?
It's Friday.
It's Friday.
What time is it?
I don't know.
Oh God.
I don't know with these lights. I
Full
don't know what time
moon
it is.
tomorrow. Nice night games as well. ASG's running a night game as well. Also, it's going to be nice sunny weather this weekend as well.
It's gonna
So
be good weather.
come out with your costumes on, guys. Gonna be epic.
Even at night.
Sure.
Even at night.
Yeah, I'm just thinking like scary clowns at
It's gonna
night.
be like
Scary
Phasmo. It's gonna be like Phasmo.
That's when I would say shoot him with the Polar Star.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh, 100%.
Can't see who did it.
Full auto, maximum lumens.
Nothing
hose
scary than a
action.
clown coming at
Oh
you.
my goodness, yeah. Give me that green tracer.
The A10 Warthog clown coming in for.
Also, we have Dayton.
Hi.
Hello, Dayton.
Hi, how's it going?
Pretty good.
Well, thank you for having me on Folding Table Talk. I like the folding tables. You keep to the name. It's perfect.
Yep. Literally folding table
Yep.
right here.
Very professional. Very
Yeah.
good. I
You,
like
you know why we named it, right?
it. Well, I would be led to believe it's the folding tables we're sitting at.
Yes.
But
So you know how there's like
What
a
a
bunch
twist.
of
What
there's
a
a
twist.
bunch of tables out there that like people have left over the years and it's like broken up and whatever, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we just
These are just-
it's just that just remnants of old
conjugated to the
tables,
Salvage tables.
salvage tables, put them together. I don't know. One day this thing's gonna fall with all my equipment.
Technically,
I will buy you a new table before that happens.
technically we upgraded though.
We're not,
We did have one that was falling over.
and we did get rid of. We got a new one.
Yeah.
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 just duct tape. Duct tape and you're good.
It's
Yeah.
I don't know if you can duct tape a broken back.
So we have Dayton as our guest here today.
Hi.
It's hard for me because I actually know him really well. That's the problem.
Yeah, I know
so you guys are
today's-
gonna have to drill him for me because I have like I already
Can we
know
choose
some
a
of the
different
answers.
word than men drilling me today.
Ooh,
Do you like grilling?
Grilling?
Just trying
What
to
about
stay
grilling?
on- just
Grill
wanna
me.
stay on the
Grilling.
rhyme
Grill
factor.
me.
all right. Well, let's get started here. We'll just grill you.
Grill me.
So I already know some of this, but like, when did you start airsoft, or like at what age, or what inspired you to be?
Well, I started out with Nerf and then went to paintball and then went to airsoft. So I don't know the exact time that I started airsoft because I had guns that we'd shoot each other with in the backyard all the time. But when I actually came out to the field, that was only like 4 years ago.
Yeah,
Like I've
I
only
remember
been
that.
playing out on the field for like 4 years. So it's I haven't been doing it for that long at the field, but I've been playing for a long time, just like shooting my friends. So yeah, it's been a great time the whole time.
And from what I remember, you started filming right off the bat, right?
Yeah, because I had already had a YouTube channel that was about Minecraft. It was all Minecraft builds.
And let's not forget your Dayton Let's Read. That's my
and
favorite.
Dayton Reads as well. Those were good. Those were good. But yeah, no, I came to the field because I was like, oh, I like airsoft and I want to make a video. And I'd seen bodge ups. And I was like, oh man, I got to make like a bodge ups video.
It's sad that he doesn't make videos anymore.
He got a family and now he's got real life and an actual well-paying job. So I still keep in contact with him. He's a cool guy. But yeah, first time out here, I was recording with one GoPro strapped to the top of my gun, and it was useless because half the game I was pointing at the ground. But for the little bit of the footage that I could edit, it turned out really good, and it got me hooked on it.
And you started off with bolt action sniper rifle.
Yeah.
I'm
Well,
like
L96.
most kids here, they start off with that,
Oh,
and then
mine-
all of a
yeah.
sudden
Mine
they move
was
up to an AEG.
So bad, my first gun. It was a Well L96 that had been broken for like 2 years, and I strapped it together with electrical tape. I taped together the trigger assembly because it broke, and it barely worked. But I remember the first time I played, I got 1 kill, and I was like, I am a sniper now. This is
You're
my life.
hooked.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Okay, well, I guess my question is that where did the name come from? House Gamers? Yeah, I'm
You know,
curious about that.
Not a lot of people ask about that, actually. The House Gamers Airsoft channel started out with 4 people. It was my
Okay.
buddy Adam, me, Jack, and Ben, and sort of a 5th person. His name's Scott. And we, our plan was we were going to play Call of Duty because everybody would come over to my house at the end of the day and play Call of Duty after school. And we had a hell of a time screaming at each other, calling each other dirty names and stuff. And my buddy Adam was really into making music. So our big plan was we were going to start up a YouTube channel where we play video games with my buddy Adam's house music in the background. So we were going to be called House Gamers. And it never
like
worked
it.
out. So the name House Gamers
Okay.
actually comes from house music.
House music. Okay,
Yeah.
all right.
So yeah, little
I did
fun
not
fact.
see that origin.
I know people don't.
It's a weird origin story, right?
Yeah,
I was like, I mean, I get the boys coming over and playing video games, but that was pretty cool.
Yeah,
I
no,
like
I
that.
would say that's actually pretty cool. Yeah, you know, like I wouldn't have guessed that. I would have
No.
taken it as like, you know, just playing at home or something
No,
like
it's
that.
totally like an evolution of the channel. Starting out with making Minecraft videos, and then Dayton Reads, and then Call of Duty stuff, and
And
now
now,
airsoft.
like full-time
Well, I mean, you
airsoft.
cooked a steak too. Like,
And I cooked a couple steaks.
that was
yeah,
pretty cool.
Yeah.
Oh my
yeah.
gosh, the survival craft.
Oh.
Oh, that was gold.
Gotta
I'm not
have
gonna
that.
lie, yeah.
Honestly, the best steaks I've had in my entire life were cooked in the forest right here at Panther.
Heck yeah, that was some pretty good steaks.
Yeah.
I
I'm
tell
not
you
gonna
what.
lie. You know what? The Panther steaks do have a tradition. Poy's birthday was nuts.
Yeah.
I don't mean to diss Pat, but I don't know, boy. I thought those steaks on the wood were the best tasting steaks I've had. in my
Heck yeah,
entire life.
dude! The amount of dirt we had on it, it
Oh,
tasted so
extra-
good.
extra
That-
grittiness and
that
protein.
extra. That's
I feel like Pat's gonna fight you guys, but he does not listen.
I
to
can
doesn't
tell
listen to this,
he's
don't worry.
up to here.
He's short. He's good.
Okay, so my next question is that do you own anything other than just Springers or anything like that, or like sniper rifles?
So when you
or-
first started, let's
Yeah,
let's,
when
let's,
when
let's
I
go there.
first
Yeah.
started, I didn't even have a pistol. If
Okay.
I had come up to somebody close enough to me that I couldn't use my sniper, I was running. That was it. I had no fallback plan for there's a guy beside me. It was and then run away. So
Okay, all right.
Yeah,
all right.
but
This is
now-
why he got good at sniping. He just ran away and
that-
sniped
honestly,
him back.
that's what it was. I had nothing else, and I was like, okay, if I want to play airsoft, I got to play with this. So I may as well.
You
get
got
into
forced
it.
to using it.
Yeah.
So then, when you started, did you start playing here at Panther? Or did you
Yeah,
start
this is
somewhere?
the first field I ever played at.
Okay, all
first,
right.
First organized game I ever played was at Panther here.
Okay. I guess when you started out, were they still only playing over on Airsoft side?
No, it was both sides. There was
4 years
definitely-
ago, it was. It's 5 years ago now. Actually,
4 or 5 years
Yeah.
ago.
4 or 5 years. It was becoming very big that we've taken over the field already at that point.
At,
so.
at that point,
Paintball-
because
Yes.
I remember still that there were still games happening over.
Yeah,
at
yeah.
that side and
Paintball was
stuff like
still was
Once
on
in
a
a while.
decline, and then
'cause I
airsoft
remember they still
was at
did
full
birthday
swing.
parties, and they still had
Yeah, so
groups.
paintball was still there.
Yeah.
Yes,
But there was
exactly.
no more like paintball drop-ins.
no, that was out at that
But
point.
they still had a lot of birthday parties.
Well, I remember the birthday parties.
Yeah, I came into the sport at the perfect time to watch paintball at Panther at least slowly whittle away and die, and watch airsoft rise and take over the place, which
Yeah.
was a really cool thing to see.
Definitely. Like I have been, I guess, I hate to say it this way, but happy to see it grow and like paintball sort of decline just because of the fact that we had such a small airsoft community and it has grown to how big it is and everything.
Well, let's
like
be
that.
honest here. We had help from this guy.
Honestly, I contribute, or I attribute the success of airsoft literally like 90% to YouTube influencers. I'm not saying, oh, I did this. This is my sport now. But
Well, I mean, you did.
I-
Hey, be fair to yourself, because you know what? Like, for those people that don't know you, some people might be listening or anything like that. Like you've been making content constantly for was it like
Like
four
four years
I mean,
now, yeah.
for
Yeah, 4
airsoft
years
wise.
now.
I mean, I understand where
Yeah.
the channel started and stuff, but so for what I'm talking about is just you have been a constant presence for the community at large. And then when I'm saying community at large too, is just you putting your stuff out on that platform is like you've exposed yourself. And
Yeah, that's true.
that's where it's going to lead into my questions for you too, is just, you've done like what a lot of people look at airsoft and dream of doing, so it's great
Yeah,
that you put out the content.
I'm humbled all the time when I look back at my old videos and stuff like that. Every once in a while, I'll like have a video that pops up in my recommended, and I'm like, hey, that's my video. Look at that.
Same for me too. I watch my own video as well.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, it's kind of nice to see like the progression of my videos
Oh, yeah.
through time, see like what I came from. But yeah, I definitely, to get back to what I was saying, I definitely think that airsoft YouTubers in general have attributed so much to the growth of airsoft.
Oh, yeah.
It's ridiculous.
Highly agree.
Like nothing before airsoft YouTube gave airsoft the jump that YouTube airsoft has given the sport.
It would be, I would say, from video game like highlight reels and stuff.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden you slowly transition into, like in your YouTube recommendation, you get into like ball jumps and stuff like
Yeah.
that in Facebook, right? All of a sudden then you get into like, Dayton's videos, Desert Fox's videos. Like
Yeah, I
it
guess
just
I should
slowly
say-
cascades into
I should
it.
say like social media for airsoft
Yeah.
in general,
Yeah.
like Facebook, YouTube.
Well, it's connected everyone,
Yeah.
right? I mean, I
Yeah.
feel like that's definitely the main thing that social media has really done. And airsoft being such a niche thing, and other airsofters finding out that they're not alone, and there are other people in their community and stuff like
Yeah.
that. And, a lot of people come from a lot of different backgrounds in airsoft, and that's one of the things that I love most about it is just being able to come together. And it's like, there are a lot of people out here that I likely wouldn't either kind of mix with or mingle or even have the chance to meet them just because our circles are different, and for us to have this thing in common,
yeah.
is just so I do enjoy that.
Actually, one of the coolest things, every once in a while I'll get a message from somebody that says like, hey, thanks for getting me into the sport and stuff like that. And I'll look into the people who like message, and it's really cool because a lot of the times we think of like a city like this, Vancouver, where everyone's driving from Vancouver out here to play airsoft and join together. What I've found is like when you think about places like the US especially, it's such a wide spread out area of people that most people didn't even think to look up, oh, where's there an airsoft field near me?
Right.
And after
Yeah.
watching the videos or on Facebook or wherever they are, they think to themselves, oh, let's look up and see where there's a field. Oh, it's an hour away. I'm going to go and play it. Like that's
Yeah, and then their
really
networks
cool.
open up after that. It just
Yeah.
takes that one seed to plant it on someone and be like, oh, this is a cool sport. This is a cool thing. This is a cool hobby.
Yeah, well,
And then all of a sudden they're
definitely.
like, okay, where's the closest thing? And then bam,
And
marketing.
the thing with us four as well that we all have in common right there is the fact that we have used airsoft as a reason for us to travel elsewhere. I've played at other fields across the border down south. You've I'm sure have played numerous places that we've all watched and everything like
Yeah.
that. You know, like
My favorite one is when you were playing like the Insurgent, was it the Insurgency one, and you were throwing all the pea grenades out the
little hole in the
That
wall.
was a good one.
yeah,
That was what- that was-
Milsom West. Yeah, that was
Yeah.
Still top 5 best airsoft days of all time.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
perfect. Because
Yeah.
that's coming right now. Then I'm gonna ask you. So that's my question to you. Is just like, you have been putting out a lot of constant airsoft content. You've gone, quite a few places and everything like that.
Yeah.
So if you could list off your top 5, just because.
I guess in no particular order, because it's like how do you choose the best of the best? Like I would say my top 5 favorite places and games that I played. Most recently was the Balahack Zombie event. That one was absolutely crazy.
Nice.
It's a good team to Halloween too, eh?
It was
yeah.
so cool. If
That
you guys
was
haven't watched the video, or the people at home haven't watched the video,
I've watched multiple angles.
I think I have a 3-part series of it, and it's
Yep.
so
Sweet.
cool. People are playing as zombies, just getting killed. People are playing as survivors, and then you switch back and forth. It was ridiculous.
I definitely like that field just because a lot of the people take it so seriously.
Yeah.
Like even to the fact that I know that a lot of the events don't even have actual airsofters involved. They're just people who want to role play.
Yeah,
and
they
have
just
fun,
want to be part of it,
which
yeah.
is so cool to have something.
Well,
like
usually
that.
what he does is if you go there just for like for the role play, you get a free entry the next time you want to come.
Well,
that's a genius idea,
That's
yeah.
a smart idea. That's cool. I like that.
I would say another really good one was in the Netherlands. I got to play at an abandoned, shut down prison that was turned into a museum.
That is cool.
was crazy. That was some of the craziest CQB I've ever done.
Okay, yeah.
The Milsom West at what was that one
Seattle,
called?
or not Seattle, Washington.
It was at the closed down Air Force Base.
Oh,
I
that's
can't-
Southern California, right?
yeah, it's in SoCal. Yeah, I
that's
can't remember-
Victorville, isn't it?
Yeah, just outside
Yeah.
of Victorville. I can't remember exactly what the place is called or the game is called, but
The event
It's
was.
Yeah,
it's
the
probably an
event.
insurgency one.
yeah, it was ridiculous. 3 days, I got so many kills up in that ceiling. It was ridiculous.
Yeah, if you guys
That was-
haven't seen, watch
Oh,
that.
yeah,
that
that
was
video
one
was
of the
good.
few videos where I've had to edit out kills because I'm like, oh, that's just I just shot a guy.
That's
Whatever.
another-
I'll just edit it out. That's just another one.
Boring.
That's
I just
another one.
killed someone.
It's like I gotta cut the video down. Let's take out some of the kills. And what am I on? Like number 4? Playing in the UK.
Yeah.
CQB at the UK. They were not ready for fast mode. So
That was true, actually.
Yeah.
That's the one where you got called aggressive.
yeah,
And
they
I was
said that I was
like,
speed
wait,
soft.
That's when the ref came up and be like, "There's no full autoing here."
I was playing so respectably too. As soon as one guy got mad at me, I was like, okay, clearly they're not. They
don't take it like as in.
Yeah, I don't want to like get people mad at me for calling them out, but like they were just not ready for someone to be
Fast.
I don't care about being tired. I want to get kills.
Yeah.
So I'm running back and forth and back and forth.
So Canadians are fast.
Well,
Yeah.
I guess also when you played there, were you playing with the lower jewel guns and everything like that?
yeah, it's all. I didn't bring
Okay.
guns with me that trip, so I
What
was
is-
using
what is their
Kelly's.
limit? That was.
I don't know for sure.
Well, I think it's below 340 or 350 or
It's
something
not
like
hard.
that.
I
it's-
played the entire day. I got shot the most out of anybody on that field that
Yeah.
day, and I
When,
looked like I had
when your
chicken
levels
pox,
are
but-
that, you're scared at that level.
Yeah.
Right? Imagine that, right?
true.
Like,
so for me hopping in, I was like,
you're like, you're used to it.
I don't care. Let's go.
I go 400 on CQB. Let's go.
Compared to our field and getting pelted by guys who like to have it right at like 419,
Yeah.
400. It's like I will
TTT.
take 350
oh
below.
my god.
TTT, Tim shot me in the dick with a 500 FPS DMR at point blank.
Oh gosh.
I've had it. I've had the worst shot you can take. 500 FPS DMR to the tip of the PP.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yep.
There was
Go
nothing
watch
more
that guy's
painful.
video shot right in the dick.
Rest in peace.
No.
That was
I think that's about it. I'm sure there are a lot more really cool places. Like I've played Austria, Germany, UK, like the
that
Netherlands.
snow
like,
map that you did with
with
Rich.
Christoph over there. Yeah,
that
was a
Border
really
Wars,
cool.
or was that an-
Operation Beer Can, I think it was.
Operation Beer Can.
That's
Hey.
cool. Yeah.
Yeah, just I've really had the honor of playing at a lot of cool places. A lot.
Yeah, and this is in a span of 4 years.
Yeah, and
Like less than like
That's actually
less
really
than 4
impressive.
years.
I'm
Yeah.
not gonna lie.
The
That's
coolest
pretty
thing
cool.
is like I'm thinking about like the future when I'm able to look back at all these videos that I made and been like, hey, this is a little 22-year-old Dayton running around Austria not doing what the hell he's doing. Like it's gonna be really cool to look back on. Yeah. Next.
It's an interesting resume overall.
Yeah, no, that's actually really, really
Yeah,
cool.
well, I mean, okay, so like going into your content build there, right? Just because of the airsoft and stuff like that. So primarily, obviously, you've made a lot of like the sniper, like scope cam videos and stuff like that. I do love when you branch out and you've done all sorts of other ones with the, like, you know, I really love how you and Poi really just come, especially you guys being the meme team and stuff. Like, you know, always being able to be silly, but like, you know, you guys have your
We never
serious
take
moments
things
too, 'cause
seriously.
I know you are, you've gone to Milsom West events and stuff like that. And though you're not so much of like a NATO faction or the Rush 4 faction, you know, a militia, that's great for you. You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah,
like
I'd say-
amazing.
I had so much fun playing
Insurgency,
with
like
militia, yeah.
that is you, you know? And then same with Poi, you know, it's like you can have fun, but you can also like the military side of it, right?
Yeah,
So,
exactly.
Like that's cool. So from there is like, what is your favorite kind of content to make? Do you enjoy a specific one that like, you know, like, is it the scope cam
TTT.
ones are really like nice? Because obviously the editing is editing no matter what you do.
Yeah.
So
I would say the most fun videos to edit for me are video game videos because
Video game,
you can just put so many memes in a video game videos. It's just so easy.
It's easy. You don't have to do a lot of work.
They are the quickest to edit and, in my opinion, the most fun to edit, but nobody watches them. I am so proud of all of my video game videos on the channel, and they get like 50,000 views, and then that's it. And I'm like, oh, come on, guys.
I mean, that's still a lot. So.
But
Yeah, no, that's still a lot.
yeah, I mean,
But
yeah.
I feel you. I feel you. Definitely when you see how some of the other videos and stuff like that that are out there, you're like, really? Really?
You have to understand, my most viewed video has something like 11, 12 million views, something like that. I put 4 hours into that video.
Is that just airsoft cheater videos?
No, it was the pistol sniper. I threw that video together in one afternoon.
I remember shot me in that one.
Yeah.
You called me a cheater.
Oh, did I?
Yeah, you did.
I remember that one.
All right, shut it down. We got him.
All right, guys, take it off.
We finally
No,
got him.
that one, that's actually funny. That was actually when I started Airsoft.
Of
And
course.
I think that was probably like my second weekend playing. And I'm pinned down behind this van. And Dayton over here is sitting away like 100 feet with this Mark 23. And he's just like, these guys just start lifting up their hands. And I was like, ah.
So I've looked back at some of my footage like from earlier on, and you know, being younger in YouTube, I wanted to get views and stuff. So like if there's a cheater, I'd put it into the video and title it the cheater. And I look back at them, and some of them very blatantly are cheating.
Oh,
But
yeah.
I watched back at one of them. I don't remember the video, and I'd love to find it. But it was a kid who was sitting behind a bunker, and I shot him once with the sniper. And he like sits there with his hands on his ears, and I'm like, come on, this kid's not calling it. I shoot him again, shoot him again, shoot him again. And he doesn't call any of them. And then all of a sudden he just starts walking out. And sort of, I guess it's had time to marinate in my mind. But now that I look back on it, that kid was very clearly terrified because there were a million people shooting at him. And he just didn't want to stand up.
Like, you weren't
and what
the
did I
other
do?
one.
I kept
You
shooting
kept
him.
shooting right at him. Like,
Poor
yeah.
kid.
Oh, man, I don't know why this guy won't call his hits. Like,
But yeah, oh man, a couple times I look back at videos and been like, damn, those are some good memes in there.
100%. Well, that's why you guys are the meme team.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got so much content now. It's insane. I could just like put your videos on like freaking like shuffle mode,
Yeah,
and then
dude.
something will
We
just
do
pop up.
actually.
Yeah, like,
Your videos are actually on the
I think,
on their shop.
Oh, in the shop there,
Yeah.
yeah. I think I was looking at my analytics like a couple months ago, and it was I think like on average we were getting like 20 to 30 million minutes watched per month.
Damn.
Like,
That's
what
a
are
lot
you-
of minutes,
that's
man.
what are you
That's a lot
people
of time.
doing?
That's a lot of
Amount
time.
There's a lot of people watching.
Yeah. Are you guys doing homework? Like, Jesus.
I guess COVID hours kind of,
You know what
increases
I'd
the
love?
view count.
I'd love to look at my lifetime like view time, like people watching the
probably a
channel.
lot.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Because you could see like it must be years, hundreds of years.
Yeah.
Of watch time.
Like the amount of time. And,
Yeah, can you imagine if they
combined.
put that towards like curing cancer or some shit? Like,
No, we'll just watch Dayton's
guy-
video.
I'll just watch Dayton's videos.
we'll just watch this guy not call his
yeah.
hits.
Yeah. All this manpower, and we're watching this guy not call us hits.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh my gosh. Question for you. I think you've answered this to me before, but when was it that you noticed that like there was a huge increase in your viewership? Where was that in your timeline?
The pinnacle.
With airsoft or with YouTube in general, it comes and goes.
Yeah.
Like will for 3 months upload videos and I'll get 50,000 views, 100,000 views per video, and then all of a sudden,
No, when did you see it take off and all of a sudden
Oh,
get the huge traction?
like subscriber wise,
Yeah. What are you at now?
Yeah. Like, what are you at now?
I'm
million
thinking I'm at
point-
like a
1.1?
150,000. I'm not
Yeah,
sure.
it's a 1.1.
Yeah.
There you go. You broke the million.
I broke the million, yeah. But yeah, I think once I hit 100,000, it was enough that I could see that there was like a consistent monthly viewership. And then once I hit like 250,000, that was like, oh my god, I think I'm making enough that I can stop
'Cause
doing regular work.
I remember we did that 15,000 one, and I thought that was
Yeah.
big. And I'm like, holy cow, you made it to 15. And it was like, let's make a special game. And we did.
I
And then-
completely realized that I've lost track of how much people like actually watch my stuff.
Yeah.
Like back when we had 15,000 subscribers, I was like ecstatic.
I was impressed. I was
Yeah.
ecstatic too. I'm like, that's impressive. Holy crap. And then
And-
we did that special game.
Yeah, and it's like I feel really bad with it, but I've totally lost touch with like just like quantifying how much a million people is. Like,
Well,
That's a lot. If
no,
you saw them in a
exactly.
stadium, you guys would really like.
Yeah, you
well,
would-
like what's BC placehold?
Not even anywhere close.
300
Yeah,
something?
like
No,
yeah.
not-
No, not even?
No, like
Like-
maybe like 50,000.
Yeah.
something like that. Maybe a little
Like
more than that.
That's
You're
ridiculous. Like
seeing multiple
that's
stadiums.
Yeah.
20 BC places.
Exactly.
Yeah, well, like if you think about subscriber wise based off of a city, it's like almost half the.
Imagine
this
you sitting at the stadium and be like,
Yeah.
hi, I'm
I don't think
entertaining you.
there's- I don't think there's even a million people in Vancouver.
Yeah.
No.
I'm pretty sure there is.
I was gonna say maybe that's like half of Vancouver's population.
What is?
Maybe.
That's
No,
pretty.
not Vancouver.
I mean,
no. I mean,
it
maybe
depends
BC.
on what you define, right? Like, are you gonna add the Metro Vancouver
Yeah,
area?
the
or-
whole entire area.
Vancouver population, 675,000 people.
There you go.
That's it for the people who live in.
That's
Vancouver.
Vancouver.
So
Okay, what's
Dayton-
the
Metro. What about Metro Vancouver?
So Dayton, if we put that into like terms here, you have all of Vancouver watching you.
yeah, twice.
Twice over.
Metro Vancouver, so that's West Vancouver, North Vancouver, Vancouver, East Vancouver, South Van. Is that a
Yep,
thing?
that's
Yep,
apparently
South
a
Van.
thing.
Okay.
Yeah, big
Is-
enough.
Since the Olympics.
Is 2.4 million.
There you
so
go.
I have half of Metro Vancouver.
You got some work to do, bud.
You gotta get that 2 mil now.
that
Yeah, I
clickbait going again.
gotta work on that. Yeah, just gotta get a couple more, you know.
Oh my gosh.
But geez, like when you think about that, that's like.
Yeah.
You've done well for yourself, and you should be proud of
And
yourself.
it's been a
definitely.
lot of it's been a lot of work. It wasn't like, oh, I uploaded an Airsoft video and now I have 1 million subscribers.
No,
Woo!
no, there's been a lot of hours, you
Yes.
spent in it, and that's some of the things that I think people don't realize, especially some of the younger audiences, which is going to lead us into our topic today, right? Is
Yeah.
just a lot of the kids. One of the most
Being
popular
influenced,
things that
yeah.
that happens, right, is that they see your super cool, awesome videos, and then
That's the first thing they reach for. Is
and
is
they get snipers, right?
It's a sniper.
exactly.
So I just want to hear from, and we'll get into it today, obviously, because
Yeah, the
it's a
meat of
great
the topic,
platform,
yeah.
especially when you do the things that you can to it and everything. But is it something that you start with, maybe
So-
for some people, right? But it's to each their own, right? Like,
Well, yeah, with
Yeah.
your experience now, right?
looking
With
back,
what I know now,
Would
looking
you
back,
go back and would you actually start out with the sniper rifle first?
No, I think this is how. Like for me, I'm thinking
he
like
is a
this
sniper.
is this
Yeah, well,
is
he
how
is
he
a sniper.
started. This is.
Yeah, so I find it really perplexing actually to think about that because a lot of people would not do well starting out with bolt action snipers, and I would recommend against it completely because if you're new and you don't know what you're doing, it can be very boring. It can be very frustrating.
I have been there, and
Yeah.
I've actually yes, I've seen that.
But if you have a calling to do it, if that's what you want to do and that's what you want to play as, and you've played video games as a sniper and you like have a whole plan of what you want to do,
You
and you
sit there all day and watch the same thing.
yeah,
That you want to try
if
it out,
that's
kind of thing.
yeah, if that's what you want to do, you can do it and have a ton of fun with it, and you will not be sad that you bought a bolt action rifle. But if you buy a bolt action rifle and then you're like, I'm gonna go into airsoft and go run up and like kill people and stuff like that, like
I'm kicking in the door.
yeah,
like, no.
I play very forwards when I play with a bolt action sniper, but I've played for years and years and years. Like I feel like I have sort of a better knowledge of like how bolt actions work and what they can do, so I can kind of stay alive.
And the range, distance,
Yeah,
and
range, distance, what I can do with it, where I can put the BB. But
Yeah, field of play as well.
Yeah.
right?
Yeah,
Like,
I'm
that
sure your
always-
confidence in the field too, knowing where you can hide and stuff like that must really help.
So that's a completely different thing. I find I do 10,000 times better on a field that I have no idea
Okay, all right.
anything about. I think it's just because I don't have a fear to go to places because I'm like, I don't know, am I going to get shot there? Let's find out. Maybe it's a great place, maybe it's a terrible place. Where here it's like, I know all the positions and
All
I
the kill
have places
lanes,
that I like to go
yeah.
to.
you've
And-
already ranged all those.
Oh, seriously,
Yeah.
like seriously. When Fortress used to be there, I could sit in Fortress and wouldn't even have to think about it. I would know, okay, I have to aim 2 centimeters above this guy. Okay, I need to aim straight at this guy. I need to
That's the
aim 3
best part
centimeters
is
above this
pinpoint
guy.
accuracy, especially
Yeah.
if he's in your squad. It'd be like, Dayton, he's over there, right on that tree in this corner.
We had multiple games where Poi and me are together at like Fortress there, and he's just like, guy at that tree, and I'm like, okay, dead. He's like,
All right, hold
"Did you
on.
get that guy?"
I'll
Yeah, okay,
get the
let's
next
find
one.
another.
That's actually pretty cool.
It's,
Yeah.
Or Operation Red Dawn, we did
Yeah,
that as well.
Operation Red Dawn.
I got a kill black as night could be, and I got a kill with my bolt action sniper. No tracer, just shined a flashlight. It was Daniil. Daniil shined a flashlight at this window where he could see in the nods a guy keep peeking out. And I set up on a, I think it was a stairway.
Yep.
And I sat up in the stairway.
No,
and
no, no.
locked
It was the
my-
bunker.
Was it a little bunker?
We were in the bunker. He was coming up that little house. Remember with
Yeah,
the door?
it was like right on the edge. Anyways,
Yeah.
whatever happened was whatever piece I was on, I locked my arm in. Like I put my
Yeah.
arm around, rifle under my hand, so it
and
could
then
not
he waited
move.
for Daniil's call to be like, he
Yeah.
popped his head out. He goes, boom,
You just hear silence.
and then hit.
And then somebody yell hit, and all
And
of
then,
us-
and then everyone's like, oh! And then this is the time when the meme, Colby!
yeah, we just all screamed Kobe, and it was
That was
one of the
impressive.
coolest-
That was what we call what do we call that? The
1 in a million
shot,
shot.
shot in the dark or
Yeah,
something. Yeah,
it was definitely a 1 in a million shot.
Wow.
But
Yeah.
it was, you could not replicate it if we
No.
tried. Could not
No.
replicate it if we
you
tried.
could only do that one time,
Yeah.
and then the rest of the time it's just like they all went away because they couldn't take our position.
Yeah.
A lot of good stories from Red Dawn, eh?
Yeah. I posted up a video of that as well as like a 30-minute long or 20-minute long video of the entire event of what happened. Me leading the entire like squad there.
Yeah.
So go watch that Operation Red Dawn, and
That was also the I think I made like a 2 or 3 part
Yeah.
series. That was the longest shot I've ever
yeah,
made.
that would be the
game.
longest shot from the fire hall.
Yeah.
That was an impressive,
I
like
think-
with wind and everything.
I think honestly, like humble brag, honestly probably the farthest shot that has been made in airsoft. Seriously, because the altitude difference just
Yeah.
made it totally.
Would it rival Chris's shot?
Honestly, like I don't think you can get much farther than what I was.
Okay.
I honestly like just physics wise, you have the Magnuson effect, which is the effect that BBs have with backspin when they're going from a higher altitude to a lower altitude. What you can get it to do is, hey, is the camera on me? Hello, check. Okay, nobody speak. Oh, you spoke. Oh shit, man, come back over here, camera. How's it going? Okay, so you can normal BB flies like this, raises a bit and then drops. Right, that's the perfect hop up to it. If you're on an angle from high to low, you get that same angle, it will lift and come out and drop down again. At that angle, you can get it to go so much farther than just shooting straight or shooting up at an angle because it gets that second lift and comes back up. And it was honestly like, it was more than 300 yards the
Yep.
shot.
Yep.
And I was using 0.49 gram BBs.
Jesus.
I honestly think that when it hit that guy, it was like the tiniest little feather touch, but the guy still called it, and it was beautiful. It was
Well,
beautiful.
shout out to the guys who call their hits.
Yeah, especially a 300-yard shot.
That's probably that. They don't even feel it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
making stories and memories like that. You know, hey, for me too. If I got shot in the dark, that would make a great story too.
Yeah.
Like a lot of the time, it's like, sometimes
I don't know how he got me, but he did.
Hey, those
I
were
have
good
no
times.
idea
I
what
tell
just
you.
happened, but it did.
I got bamboozled.
That was probably our first milsim together too.
That
At
was-
that
that
time.
was
That
my-
was yeah.
I think that was my first milsim.
Yeah.
Was Red Dawn. Yeah.
That's impressive. Probably Simon's first milsim too.
I'm cold.
Cool. I'm sorry, Simon, if you watch this.
Another question for you there, though. So obviously, you know, yourself being a airsoft YouTuber, you must have quite a lot of things. Besides things that companies have sent you for review-wise and everything like that, how many guns would you say you personally own? Like, you know, like they are.
Besides what they sent me?
Yeah, just not including those like stuff that you've gone out and purchased with yourself, or has that stopped ever since?
I've only ever bought 2 guns.
Okay, cool. Well, so then
I bought, well, technically 3. The Well L96. I bought the VSR-10 that I still have. That gun was the first real airsoft gun that I bought. That was like, I got it from Beardy. Do you remember that guy? Did you ever meet him?
Yep.
He sold it to me off of Craigslist. Just happened to be him at the field, and I was like, oh, okay, whatever. Yeah, I got that from him for like $200, and then I bought a Mark 23 from Zach, I think, for like $150. So in total, I've spent under $500 on airsoft, and just by pure luck. Like YouTube started taking off, and then everyone was like, take this. I'm not going to say no. So.
yeah,
No,
hey,
100%.
man,
Yeah.
But
Hey, that's
now-
work though. That's work.
Yeah.
That's not getting free stuff. That's work.
Well, yeah, exactly. Like, you know, he is working. I understand that. I'm just saying that he's obviously had the opportunity to play with, you know, quite a bit of toys.
Yeah.
And I'm not gonna lie, okay? Poi here, okay, is the real bee's knees when it comes
Yeah,
to airsoft.
Poi's got a
People
lot
have
of
no
guns.
idea about it too, because it's just like, you know, like Poi, when you let them, like, you know, look into your trailer.
When you
of
get to
goodies,
C-cans level, you
I-
can talk to Craig.
We should definitely combine our collections, because I have.
well, go watch
I have, like-
the Poi's airsoft tour of his.
Oh,
of
the
his
meme
CD.
team
That
tour.
was a
Yeah,
great- that was a
it needs to be
great-
updated, honestly.
Yeah, but to answer your question, I would say 20 to 25 that I keep in my room that I play with on the regular, and then I have a storage room filled with boxes and boxes and boxes.
of stuff that
Well,
they
because sometimes they send duplicates just in case something happens. I need to make a video with it, so they
Right.
send 2. And then a lot of times they'll, like if I do a video, I'll say, you know, you have to pay to get this in the video, or let me keep the gun and sell it after, and they'll usually send a second one for me to sell afterwards.
No?
So
Cool. Nice.
I think I probably have like 50 to 75 guns, something like that.
Nice.
So
that's
pretty good.
impressive.
and they're all working too, because I
Yeah.
play with them for 2 games and then put them back up on the shelf, and there
I'm
you
just
go.
thinking that rivals USA Airsoft's.
US Airsoft.
Yeah.
He only has Galeals though. Who wants a freaking Galil? Sorry,
I want a
Scott.
Galil.
Scott, can you fall
Send
in
me
love
some
with a better
Galeals.
looking gun, please?
Those
God
things,
damn.
those things are airsoft guns?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you never play Black Ops?
I mean, I did. I'm just saying, like,
There's
why
one in
is
it-
that
there's
an
one in my
airsoft
container,
gun?
too.
See, I'm an old guy when it comes to Galils. I always think of
Look, if we go back to
Counter-Strike.
Black Ops,
Yeah.
that influenced a lot of my airsoft purchases. Okay, like
Yes, 100%.
my first guns. Oh my god, terrible.
That's why I got into sniping.
Yeah.
Honestly, the reason why I played sniper so much was because of Sergeant Reznov in Call of Duty World at War. The most badass Call of Duty character that's ever lived. I freaking love
This is
that
why
guy.
you love that game.
I still feel like that is the best Call of Duty. To
100%. 100%.
date. World at War was a great. I just dabbled with
The
new-
original Modern Warfare. That's for me.
We can talk about Call of Duty.
we could do this on another day. I'm not
Because trust me, if we start opening up about Call of Duty, I'm not gonna stop. I got a lot of things to say to those
Oh
guys.
man, we'll date ourselves real quick.
Well, speaking of that, it's making me want to go replay the entire series.
I'm just saying. Does anyone remember Medal of Honor?
I do. Warfighter. Yeah. 10 years ago.
I'll leave the Call of Duty on this. Call of Duty World at War, by far the best campaign that has ever been in a Call of Duty. 10 out of 10.
Yeah, hands down.
Okay.
Awesome.
Alrighty. Well, then let's get into the meat of the head.
Yeah, before we do that, just some formatting stuff.
yeah.
So if you're coming into Panther this weekend, make sure you wear your costumes. Oh boy, like, you know, it's going to be tomorrow. It's going to be fun seeing everybody in costume. We already had a few people in costumes last week as well. We had that Knights Templar with the Killer
Yeah, that
Airsoft
was-
Bunny.
yeah.
Go watch that video, by the way, guys.
Exactly.
Killer Airsoft.
Killer Bunny Airsoft.
Killer Bunny Airsoft,
Yeah,
Knights
yeah.
Templar. That's hilarious. His
was
husband
pretty
dressed
cool.
up in
Yeah. He
full
showed-
chainmail, freaking
90 pounds.
90 pounds worth.
Yeah,
That's
he
heavy.
He showed up last week because he wasn't going to be able to come
Ah.
this week. So
Hey,
gave
but that's
everyone
good
a little
content for
taste.
this week, though. Hey.
100%.
When you
Yeah.
heard night games, but
Yeah,
you
night
heard
games.
night games.
Yeah, well, yeah, exactly. When you show up to night games and
You show up as a
Nobody
knight.
else is wearing armor.
Shoot, wrong game.
What era are we in?
Which
So
crusade
there's
is
that.
this?
Also, a good reminder for everybody: do not brandish your airsoft guns out in public, guys. It is Halloween. I understand that you have the urge to show off your kit, but now is not the time, especially at Halloween. Halloween's supposed to be fun and games, but not airsoft gear.
If there is any time of the year, Halloween is not the time of the year to do your Call of Duty loadout.
Yeah.
What do you mean,
Well,
the holiday known for delinquents, and
Yeah,
you're not
yeah,
supposed to go out in
right,
camo with a gun? What?
Are you telling me that I can't just like have a photo of me with my costume and then go out trick or treating and like, you know, say I'm a cowboy, pistols, you know, got in the hand, then I'm going out.
Leave
which
the
we
pistols at
shouldn't-
home.
Which we shouldn't be right now. But then I go out and the holsters are empty, or I got Tabasco sauce on there. 'Cause I
Tabasco
always-
sauce,
I
hell
always
yeah.
keep that thing on me.
I feel like, okay, for one, disclaimer, never ever bring airsoft gear outside, or just don't.
Yeah, just
But
don't.
that being said, I feel like the only airsoft loadout that you could bring out on Halloween that wouldn't get instantly yourself shot would be a cowboy. I think
Or
I
a
think-
ghillie suit.
or
A
a
ghillie
ghillie
suit,
suit.
yeah.
Yeah,
You
no,
know,
cowboy
I mean,
is
I'd
not bad.
confuse you with a swamp monster, but yes.
Swamp monster.
But that being said, don't do it.
Yeah, don't do it, guys.
Please
Don't do it.
I mean, we've said it for 3 weeks now, and it's like, yeah, it's definitely
Yeah.
something that we, because, you know what? Yeah, I know we said we weren't going to dive into it, but we'll brush on it. There's been a lot of talk recently on social media platforms about doing this kind of stuff outside of, you know, like recognized fields and everything like that. And, you know, to each their own and everything like that, but you got to remember that like it only takes one bad apple or a few
Yeah.
bad apples to make the whole thing look terrible.
Exactly.
And yeah, especially with, you know, with the restrictions and some of the fear that's kind of growing with, like, you know, the worry with the
Don't
sport.
ruin it for the rest of
Yeah,
us.
exactly.
Do not worry. There is also special games happening this weekend. It is going to be Spooky CQB.
At SQB?
Say it right.
Spook QB.
What's right?
Spook QB.
Yeah.
Spook QB.
Yes.
There you go. Exactly. Just like that. Ooh.
So what Elliot's saying is they're gonna have some fun games at City. So they all decorated it up. And also, just a reminder: do not bring your own pumpkins over here. There is
Yeah.
wildlife here that will eat it, and it also gets messy. So keep it at home. Put it in your compost. We are not the compost here.
Yeah, unless you want an army of rats, squirrels, and raccoons
Yeah.
gnawing at your pumpkin.
Just
So
a PSA for everybody, right? Other than that, we didn't have much for our previous topics, our previous podcasts. There was a few people commenting, but other than that, nothing too much. We could dive right into the meat of the topic here.
Let's do it.
Springers, Dayton. You started with one.
I did.
Why did you start with one?
I actually think it's my specialty. So yeah, I spent enough time working on them. Man.
Actually, let me quote you this one. So you started, for some people, they start with a Springer, like a pistol one, right? And then end up going back to a Springer later on, you know, with an Novrich or, you know, much more expensive rifle. Why is it that, like, you know, that spectrum starts there and then starts at the high end afterwards?
Pendulum effect.
I think it all comes from simplicity. So when you start out in your backyard with your buds, you want to shoot at each other with something
That's cheap.
that's cheap.
Yeah.
And it's a little bit more serious than playing Nerf. You can actually shoot people at a distance, and you know it'll hurt a little bit more than you know just regular Nerf. And I think that leads into why bolt actions and Springers are sort of an end game for a lot of people for their prized possession sniper rifles and stuff like that.
Yeah,
Is-
looking at Novrich's gun, which is almost like, you know, $1,000 Canadian
Yeah.
by the time it comes here, right?
Yeah.
But I mean, well, it's $1,000, but still,
Yeah.
for the gun that can outrange anything on the field, it's pretty good.
So it is an end
But-
game.
Yeah.
But the I think the reason why people want that is the simplicity of working on something as simple as a bolt action sniper. There's 3 moving parts in it, and not only is it easy to work on, and reliable, it's consistent. Doesn't matter the temperature, doesn't matter the weather. So the first shot is going to be the same as the last shot in the mag. Whereas if you get a gas system, it's going to fluctuate with temperature and season. If you get into electric, you're going to have response issues and different problems with complicated gearboxes. I think that's why those are definitely the end game for a lot of people.
So for you, it's just the simplicity part. It is just rack.
For me, it's the consistency. Because a lot of times when you're working at ranges at like 250 plus feet, you want to, if you make the first shot, yeah, that's great. You know, you practice and sight your gun in a lot, you're going to get those shots a lot more than a person who hasn't put the work into their gun. But what's important is being able to make a shot and miss, think about why you missed, be it the gun's tilting, there's wind, you didn't have the range, and then being able to compensate for that in the second shot. And the only way you can do that reliably is the consistency of your gun.
Yeah, and I know you pretty well, and you like to calculate a lot of things in your head.
Yeah.
And is this why you love snipers?
Yeah, I love
or just bolt action in general.
I just love the physics of it, and the like. I can think about it, like make an estimate on what I think is going to be right, and then execute it and see if it's right. And if it's right, hey, hell yeah, I just did a freaking.
You got
awesome,
the right formula.
I just did an awesome thing. If they didn't, okay, tweak it a little bit. Next shot's good.
Airsoft science.
Airsoft science.
Airsoft science.
There is a lot of airsoft science
There
in
is,
springers.
that's the thing that gets kind of overlooked a lot of times, especially when I try and get into like hop-up dynamics. People are like, what do you mean? I'm like, oh god.
There's definitely
Do you
different
really want me to
levels.
unpack this?
Honestly, I'm just the guy that goes, I shoot, target goes down, next target.
That's why I love sniping, is because you have that one shot. You have to math it out in your head and figure out what's going on. And when you're working at 250 plus feet ranges, a little 1 degree difference in the angle that you're holding your
Or
gun
wind.
is gonna make a change at 250, 300 feet. And that's what I love about it, is like you have to be on point to make those shots and stuff like that. And I love it. I love it.
Yeah, well, I mean, consistency, like the same thing, I agree with you there. That is like my biggest key when it comes to airsoft and everything. And I think that's why, for me, I've had my brother build me just like my, plug and, I don't play often as much as I did when I started anymore. But when I do get the chance, I do, like, because I play HPA. So, it's real.
Oh, I know.
Yeah. Yeah, actually, yeah.
We've met on the field.
Yeah, that's pretty funny. Yeah, it's like, oh, Dayton's making a video. Better get in it.
Better be the airsoft cheater.
Just better not call my hits over here. Or bunker Dayton. And all those times where he's like, please no. It's like, yeah, those are
That's
those
when he
moments.
cuts out the video part.
I just cut those bits out.
Exposed. Let's talk into physics then, into science. So what makes a great bolt action for you? What is the formula for you for building one, or
So there are 3 main things that you want to look at. Number 1, getting as close to the maximum FPS that your field allows without going over. Number 2, practicing with your gun and making sure you know how it works, because every single airsoft gun works different. You can get 2 identical guns out of the box and they will both shoot differently. And number 3 is just the knowledge of the sniper class, I think would help you the most. Just how to use range to your advantage. And stuff like
Gotcha.
that.
Oh yeah, we'll get into that in a bit. So as far as customization goes, what can you do? So I know when you started off with a VSR 10, you basically customize that thing to your own.
Yeah.
And do you recommend that for a lot of people, or do you just recommend people just dropping in $1,000 right away? What would you go? Which path would you go? Get an average gun or customize your own?
It depends. If you customize your own, you can do whatever you want. You can make it perform how you want, which is really cool, like what I did with my VSR 10 with the gas system. But if you just want something that will come out of the box working, and you can shoot it and go have a good time, you don't need to have a super upgraded gun. I've played with, I think you're going to show it later, the $80 ASG one.
Yeah.
That thing doesn't have incredible range, but I went and played with it and absolutely destroyed people. You just gotta change your game style to the gun that you have a lot of the times, but then you can also build the gun that fits your gameplay if you do it custom.
So are we talking end user skills, or are we talking the gun? Which one makes it?
It's a mix of both. I think any good player can pick up a gun and do well with it, but also you put a really good gun in the hands of a good player and you can multiply their effectiveness exponentially on the field.
So there is a lot of customization that you would have to go through if you follow the path of, the hobbyist and a tinkerer.
Yeah, there's, with a bolt action rifle, a stock one, there's 3 main things that you can do that will make your day a lot better. So the first one is your FPS, making it as fast as you can. So that requires you to upgrade the spring, possibly the piston and spring guide, and the trigger assembly. So you need a trigger assembly that's stronger to hold the piston and the spring under that tension, and you need a better piston for a better seal. After that, you can upgrade your hop up, which gives you a more consistent backspin and makes each shot more and more consistent, which is basically what you're looking for with sniping. And then, I've had mixed results with the barrels, changing in barrels, but
Because that was my first reaction, is just longer barrel, better? That's what I thought.
It would. That's actually a hot topic in the sniper community. Is do tight bore barrels work better than wide bore barrels? Do longer barrels work better than shorter barrels? In my experience, this isn't something that I've scientifically tested, but the length of the barrel, once you get past like 6 or 7 inches, something like that, doesn't make a huge difference. Tight bore and wide bore doesn't make a huge difference. What I've found is you want to eliminate, turbulence at the barrel of the gun. So there's crazy jet barrels, which are what in my VSR-10, they have like a little gas release system at the front. So it's a double barrel. And once it gets past the second barrel, the BB almost works as a plug and expels excess air, and then the BB comes out without suction.
So it's like a compensator in a gun then.
Yeah, I'll try and explain. So if you have your piston compresses the air and it shoots the air down the barrel and it pushes the BB out, right? If your piston, the volume of air in it is smaller than the volume of air in your barrel, by the time that BB gets to the end, no more air is being put in to push it out. So it's actually suction that's slowing the BB down at the end. And not only can that affect the trajectory, like the backspin and where it's touching on the barrel, it can slow the BB down and make it so that you're not shooting as fast as you can. And it does some weird things to the BBs. So barrel size is not a huge issue for me. You just have to calculate volumes between pistons and the barrel. This is what I mean about stuff that people don't think about.
This is crazy. I'm learning so much already.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of technical stuff that comes into it, and like.
So having a bolt action or a Springer is a hobby on its own already.
It is a full subsection. I would argue. I've worked with AEGs and HPA stuff. I would argue getting a bolt action rifle to perform as well as it can is the toughest science in airsoft. Just because when you're working at those ranges, any small interference in the BB at the gun end is going to affect the BB so much at the target end.
Wow.
So you want to eliminate as many things that can affect the BB's trajectory at your gun side so that you eliminate them at the target side.
Definitely from like a tinkering perspective, I would say like if anyone was getting into airsoft and wanted to try like a platform to tinker with, Springers would be a really good one just because it, like one, right, there's less moving parts in that sense, and the same thing, like, you know, I guess we can call it airsoft science, right? It's like with the science into it, like doing the voluming is like one of the basic math, you know, equations that people can do. You know, some people don't, and you can just buy stuff online and stuff like that. But definitely for people who want to get into it, that's really it's really cool, right? Because there's a lot of cool things that you can do, right? Like you can get into like weighted pistons at the same time, where you can, you know, lower the barrel length, and then also you're increasing the joules coming out and stuff like that. Like, yeah, so definitely Springers. There's a lot of things that you can do.
What I'm hearing is sometimes when people put upgrades in, they just don't formulate a math. They just go overkill because this part is like the best.
Or they heard that this is what
this is what it does.
This is the new hotness in the store, so let's buy it.
There are so many upgrades now from so many different companies.
It's really ridiculous.
Yeah, it's not as easy as this is the most expensive part, so it's going to be the best.
So you mean to tell me you have to experiment with a lot of parts that come in?
For example, my VSR-10, the hop-up chamber itself in my VSR-10, I just upgraded it like a couple months ago. I, for the longest time, was just using the stock hop-up chamber with an upgraded bucking and a, you know, like nub that I made myself. So you don't have to buy the most expensive stuff in the world to get good performance. You just have to put in the time and understand what your gun can do and understand what you can do to your gun to make it perform better.
You got to do the R&D.
Yeah.
And if you don't, you got to spend the money.
Yeah, exactly. It's either R&D or spend the money.
I would go the path of just buying an average gun at that point, because I just don't have time to R&D, right?
Sense,
so if you're me, go buy something expensive already, right?
Yeah.
Pre-built, everything's good to go.
Well, I mean,
right?
and that argument comes back in airsoft a lot and stuff like that. Some of the things we started out with when we first started discussing this stuff, you know, is to each their own individual, right? And then, so the way me and Poi always phrased it, right, and everything was just your car's broken down, right? Are you the type that's going to try and fix it yourself, or are you going to take it to the mechanic?
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah,
And
it's the same
like
thing.
there are two types of people, right? So, you know, Me and Poi, we take it to the mechanic.
I think that's a good way of summing up the question of like, is a bolt action a good gun to get for the start? Like, you can't say no or yes. It depends on the person.
Well, are you a mechanic?
Yeah, if you're going to be the type of person who's entertained by sitting and taking a couple shots a game, yeah, you're going to have a great time. Watching that one BB fly and hit a guy, the best feeling in the world.
Spend 6 hours, get 1 kill.
Yeah,
Great success.
but that's the thing.
Great success.
Not every game is going to be like one of my videos where you're getting 1 million kills. Sometimes, like the past 2 weeks I've been recording, I got like 2 kills in the video. and I couldn't make
Unfortunately,
it.
we don't have a lot of people out. So
Yeah.
sniping.
Not target-rich environment right now.
No, I've been avoiding him.
That's why. Get back in there. He needs content.
I don't play anymore.
I just got to start setting up my videos, and then I'll get all the kills I need.
Don't ruin the videos of TTT. They're all set up,
They're all scripted.
just like the show. Okay, so do you have anything to add for customizations in guns before we hop on to the
Honestly,
next topic?
like, just take the time and honestly, like, if you don't want to put any money into a gun at all and you want it to perform better, look at upgrading your hop-up bucking and your nub. Super cheap. Like, what does a bucking cost? $10 max?
Depending on what.
Depending on what you
$10,
get, but like
$20.
literally G&G green buckings, or I guess
Solid bucking.
That's like that,
Yeah.
I would say that's like a gateway sort of upgrade that you could do for any gun at this point.
Never mind. I'm stupid. Bucking and nub, of course. Yeah, upgrade that. But just use heavier weight BBs.
Ah,
Well, that is
Heavier
where
weight
that's
BBs.
where a lot of people do have a misconception too, where they think that like because I'm firing a heavier weight BB, it's not traveling as far, and then that's where the really
I would agree with Dayton. Heavier weight BBs does make a difference. When I was using my ESG,
Consistency.
is basically like I was using 2.8s at the very beginning, and then I moved my way up to like the heavier ones, which is 4.5s. I'm like, oh, this is way too heavy. It's not even floating anymore. And then you got to find it in between. You got to find that
nice middle
research.
zone. So do you want the physics of it?
Go for it.
Do you want the physics
Yeah,
of it?
no, we got
Okay.
time. Go.
Yeah,
So,
Be honest.
an object in motion continues in motion unless acted upon by an outside force.
Thank
all right?
you, Newton.
Thank you, Newton. So, if you have a lightweight BB and it's traveling through the air, there are 3 forces, the rest of them are negligible, that are acting on it. Acceleration due to gravity, pulling it down. Wind resistance ahead, slowing down because it's pushing through the air.
So the drag,
and the
yeah.
third one is possible wind side to side. Right?
Okay, variation.
So
yeah.
you have 3 directions that it's moving: down, slowing down, and moving left and right. If you have a light BB, okay, it has a momentum moving forwards. And that momentum is slowly being diminished by air resistance, the wind pushing side to side, and gravity pulling it down. So you can counteract gravity pulling it down by aiming up, of course. You can counteract wind by moving your gun left and right. The only thing you can't attack is the air resistance stopping it from going forwards. If you have a heavier weight BB, that BB has more inertia, okay? So it has more energy moving forwards. And that means that the air slowing it down will have to act on it longer, and you have a higher flight time. Acceleration due to gravity is the same, but I don't know if that's...
But with the Magnus effect, though, it's a
The Magnuson
it's
effect.
helping it fly.
Yeah,
from
the Magnuson effect helps everything, but also there's an inertia to its spin. It's centripetal force. Technically, centripetal force isn't a force, but it's a precession. So precession is the physics sort of terminology for what are those things? You spin them and they stay standing up.
Tops.
Kind of tops, yeah.
Beyblades.
Gyroscopes.
Oh, gyroscopes.
So
Okay.
precession.
I'm gonna leave now.
Precession. Beyblades.
Hey,
Beyblades
Mac,
do
are
use.
you taking notes? Because I'm not. Nothing's going through me right now.
Man,
Beyblades do
I'm
use
so tired from my
precession.
day.
So precession is a physics sort of terminology you use for objects that are spinning. Okay, so for example, a bike. Once you get the bike wheel spinning, it's really easy to stay up because that inertia is staying upright.
It takes a
constantly
lot
moving
less
forward.
energy to keep it going.
Perpetual
Yeah,
after
motion,
it's-
it takes energy to move it side to side.
Yeah.
So when you have the Magnuson effect keeping it in the air,
Yeah.
the precession keeping the BB straight as it's flying, spinning straight, I should say, while it's flying, that means that forces like wind resistance and wind hitting it from the side have to act on it for longer for the force that they're applying to be noticeable. So the heavier weight BB you use, the more force it's going to take from wind resistance and wind pushing from the sides for it to slow down or change course. But that also means that if you add those forces, like if there's wind and you turn it, with a heavyweight BB, it's going to travel straighter for longer with those forces that you've added to it than a lightweight BB. Basically, lightweight BB, it takes less force to change its trajectory. Heavyweight BB, it takes more force and for longer for it to change its trajectory. So physics, all of it.
So for like I guess like the gist of it is if you're playing indoors without any like outside variables like wind and stuff like that, definitely
you want to use the
BBs.
lightest weight you can so that you can get from your gun to the target as quick as you can.
Yeah, and then for
outdoors with lots of things acting on the BB, outside forces, you want to use as heavy as you can, where you still are getting to the target on time, and your gun can still shoot that heavy weight because you can't just put 4 9s in a stock gun.
You can, but I'm just saying.
If you buy a House Gamers rifle, you can.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's what I mean about like airsoft, especially sniping, is all just physics. Like it's all. That's why I love it. I've always loved physics.
Hit that like button if you guys are physics majors.
Well, definitely to play on the part about the heavyweights too, just from my perspective too, is that it's the easiest like. When we talk about, I guess, upgrading with sniper rifles and stuff like that, and just like the Springer platform.
Even all platforms.
Well, just,
right? Just understanding that
specifically
science.
with Springers, just because looking at it also from like a money standpoint, right? You're not shooting as much, right, with the Springer. Right?
It can be economical.
Exactly. You're not going to be going through 300 rounds. You can, but you're not going to be going through 300 rounds in one round.
Yeah.
And if you are, like, you must be hopefully getting kills.
Either you get a lot of kills or you got to work on something.
So, and with that case, like some of the, I guess the price differences in a heavyweight bag is between $10 to $20, I think.
It's expensive, yeah.
Yeah, but even then though, just doing that because you're already going to be spending the money kind of thing. That's an easy upgrade just to test the limits.
In my opinion, I think it evens out. I think you're shooting less and it's more expensive.
Exactly. And like I find when I switched over to a lot heavier weight BBs and stuff like that, I was shooting a lot less because I was actually more confident in the fact that my shot
and you were
was,
hitting the target.
Exactly. I was hitting the target. The target was feeling the shot as well. So there was a lot of different plays to it. And I guess it comes down to the fact that we play at an outdoor field. I know that a lot of the airsoft content, and which is where you kind of differ from, is that you play at an outdoor field a lot of the time, while a lot of airsoft content online is mostly CQB, indoor events and stuff like that. So like there's definitely that big difference with that too.
Well, it's the close quarters. That's where a lot of the fights come from too, right?
Yes.
Like it's when you're in such a confined area, shooting such high pace, right? Because that's what I find with the indoor CQB and stuff like that. Very high pace, very high rate of fire, very.
Well, also, I mean, like in CQB, every target you're shooting is within, like you can throw
Arm's distance.
You throw a deer ball.
Yeah, you can literally bang everyone in the room.
If you're playing outdoors here, you got a problem with a guy. You're 300 feet away. Hey, screw you, bud.
Hey, call your hits, bud.
In CQB, you're right there. So if you get heated or mad at somebody, you have that chance to be like, okay, you're 6 feet away.
It's the verbal yelling that's more scary than the BBs itself.
He burned my patch.
Full auto with building.
Cool. So weight of the BB makes a difference as well. That's probably the first thing people want to go into, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
Because that's what I found when I started using my sniper rifle. I'm like, wow, weight does make a difference.
Weight and the thing that gives the backspin to the BB, the bucking. Those are the two first things you should do with a bolt action sniper.
Well, sometimes people get surprised too that some manufacturers, right, they stock give you 2s and stuff like that, and you play with
box,
it, right? And it sucks, and like you're like, oh, this is crap. And sometimes all you have to do is go and buy like 3 6s, 3 2s, or 4s.
Or even 2 5s.
Available at the armory.
Actually, yeah, as you say, even just 2 5s, and you'll end up seeing that your gun actually shoots a really decent, range.
Well, yeah, especially because when you're using those stock 2s, is especially right. It's that base weight where we just went into the science of it. You have all 3 of those forces acting on that BB.
Everything is there to make you fail.
It's not working out. The gun is not to blame. Like,
Outdoors,
science
2s does not work. Yeah, 100%.
No, with the lower springers it would.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah. So one other question I have too, when it comes to the customization, like of the Springer platform, I guess sort of ties more into like your sort of YouTube kind of thing. Is I've seen like your fully loaded sniper and stuff like that with like all your camera equipment and stuff like that. Do you have like suggestions for people who are because obviously, you know, there's a lot of people who are wanting to get into, you know, the YouTube kind of thing and stuff like that. Is there like, and obviously you must have gone through a bunch of camera equipment. I can't imagine. I've seen the videos too, you know, like of going through all the GoPros and stuff like that.
I just went through another camera last weekend, actually.
I'm sorry to hear that. So, is there like a go-to kind of list now that you have, or is there like suggestions that you have for people who want to customize their guns for that kind of thing?
For recording specifically?
Yeah.
If you're playing just drop-ins, you don't need to worry about battery packs and stuff like that. I have the GoPro Hero 7 Black, and I can use one battery in that thing for basically 2 drop-in games. Okay. So I bring a spare battery.
That's about 30 minutes each, isn't
30
it,
minutes
for a game?
each, yeah.
That's not bad.
It's not bad at all. So I bring 2 batteries, and that gets me game.
Is that on a constant record though, or is that like?
Well, I'm playing constant record. Yeah. And then so 2 batteries, I can get 3 games in TTT. Is usually what we do. Then my reverse cam, I just use a Hero 4 Session. I think there.
Yeah, square ones. Yeah.
It has an internal battery. You can charge it while you're recording, but I find the battery on those things last a long time.
Okay.
And then the scope cam that I was using for a long time was the Foxier Legend 2 Plus, I think it was.
Yeah, I've used that one before.
Super cool.
nice.
Better than a handy cam, I can tell you.
It's all contained, which is why I loved it. The battery was inside like the session. You charge it overnight, and then I could record for the entire day, and it was fine.
Super simple rail attachment. Just
it's like
right
a
on.
Picatinny rail mount, and it just slides in. It's beautiful. But
Brain
I would
Exploder
recommend,
has them,
yeah, I'd recommend if you're looking to record, the order that you should get them in is important. Head cam first, followed by scope cam, followed by reverse cam, and then whatever you want to add after that.
360 cam.
360 cams,
coming into popularity now.
I don't know. I don't like it.
Are you
It's
thinking
not-
about doing
not
that?
ready
I'm
yet.
not gonna lie. I guess it depends on the play style. I think like for some of the guys who use it that I see it with, like I guess
360 cams work great on CQB.
well, yes and no. I guess like specifically like
Because you know why?
Kicking Mustang, for instance, like I think it works for his style just because he's always like trying to play the environment.
That
kind
is
of thing.
true. No, I get
Right?
that. You go wide. Yeah.
I don't know for Kicking Mustang, but I talked to the other Airsoft boys quite a bit. And I don't know about Tom, but I know everybody else freaking hates the 360 over-the-shoulder camera.
Well, you just look silly.
It looks silly. It gets stuck on everything.
So I don't mind a third-person point of view.
That's why I
Yeah.
got the what is it called? The DJI Osmo.
Osmo,
The
yeah.
It's like a
gimbal,
yeah.
the gimbal stabilized
Yeah,
camera.
it's really tiny.
Yeah.
It could fit on your hands, and then the camera's that small, and then you basically just like.
Yeah,
Oh,
you
I
just
think I've
run
seen
around
it.
with it.
Yeah, I've seen a couple guys.
we bought that for doing third person, and then Jack stopped coming and recording. So that just sits in my room now.
Well, okay. Well, those are really great suggestions. You know.
So to sum that up, head cam first, scope cam next, reverse cam,
Okay.
GoPro, whatever you want, whatever you can get. Foxier or run cam for the zoom cam, and then reverse cam, whatever you can get.
Brain
Toy
Exploder
uses-
already has
Yeah.
like a setup that you could buy already. So.
Yeah, I believe he's got that special.
Yeah, he has everything. He has everything YouTubers
Yeah.
need.
Just go check out Brain
Yeah,
Exploder.
the
He's got
reverse
everything.
and
Explodey brain guy.
It's
Yeah,
a
yeah.
dual cam hex box kind
Yeah.
of.
Yeah, so
Exactly.
it's 2
Okay.
Foxiers or run cams, one running, one
So I guess
face, and then one running. the other
next
way.
question that I guess might get asked by people, at least for my perspective, is scopes on springers.
Get into the accessories.
Okay.
Yeah. Do
So-
you use one, and why?
I just 2 weekends ago played a game of airsoft with.
You need a scope.
Look at the scope.
there we go.
Is that needed?
Is it needed?
Yeah.
So I don't know. I just like holding guns. I mean,
No, I mean scopes.
yeah, 100%. I think I thought this in paintball as well, actually. So I 2 weekends ago played a game with a Car 98 upgraded by Sweat Airsoft. This thing shoots 300 feet, no problem. Beautiful gun, and it's
Okay.
a Springer. And
Oh, impressive. Okay.
it only has iron sights. And I got 2 kills with it the entire
Would it help?
day.
Would it help if you have the scope?
If I had a scope, yes. Yes, it would help. I'm not sure if you can tell. I wear glasses. I am blind.
It wouldn't have changed the war, but it would have changed his.
It wouldn't have changed the war, but it would have changed the battle. So I know the gun shot super straight and super far. but outside of 100 feet out of the gun, I couldn't see what the BBs are doing.
Yeah.
And that's the same, even if you do have good vision, I feel like it's the same thing, especially playing in a forest where the light's changing all the time.
Yeah.
With a scope, just being able to see, like what I was talking about earlier, where small things with your gun can change the trajectory of the BB when you're out 250 feet. Out of my gun, at 100 feet, yeah, it looks like the BB's going great, man. It's flying straight. It's pretty quick, too.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, like I'm hitting that guy.
Yeah, but then 150 feet out, I held my gun at, like, I'm not even joking. Like, if you hold your gun like this, and then you tilt it, like, 1 degree,
Yeah.
at 300 feet, that is a 6-foot difference.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
There's an exact science
in
to your
where you're-
madness, isn't there?
Yeah.
Oh, there is 100%. Yes.
That's insane. So what are you looking for when it comes to like a scope accessory? Like,
So if I'm looking for a scope, number one, I like it to be adjustable. So I like to be able to go down to very minimal zoom and then up to
So
higher
you're looking
zoom
at
if I'm
variable
doing
so
zoom
it.
you're
in.
actually functionally using a
Oh,
scope then?
all the time.
Okay.
All the time
Alright.
I'm changing it.
are you using the guides on the scope itself?
So yeah,
Is that important for you,
Like
like
the
the
mil
mil
dots?
dots?
Yeah.
yes, yeah.
The
So
field gauge and everything like that. right?
I shoot at 0 magnification. So I keep, I think the default of the one that
It's
I
4.
have is
It's
4,
4, yeah.
4 by 12, I think. And that's usually what I sight the gun's hop up and everything, or sight the sight to the hop up. That's,
Okay.
by the way, a little quick thing. You should never sight your hop up to your scope. Sight your scope to your
Why
hop
am I
up.
shooting left?
Yes.
Ah.
But so when I look for a scope, there's really only 2 things that I look for. Number one is I don't want it to be super, super heavy because you're going to be running around with it all day, of course. But number 2 is the eye relief. So I like this one you have to be really close up to. And I don't know, it's getting a little close to the face
close to those quick
when you're
shots.
running the action and stuff. So
Yeah.
the scopes that I have, I can have sit up quite far, and the eye relief's about right there. So I mean, like, you can launch rounds and stuff and not have to worry about smacking yourself in the face, which I've done multiple times.
Okay.
Yep, I've seen you
Because
do
of
it.
scopes that are too close.
Then I guess the next part question for that then is because, with airsoft, a lot of people do get into real steel and all that flexing stuff. Do you own, or would you ever put a real scope on your airsoft gun?
Is it even
I mean,
needed to
yeah,
begin
is
with?
it even
No,
needed?
it's overkill.
Yeah.
So when you're talking about real steel scopes or airsoft scopes, the only difference is their reaction to impact, and that doesn't mean impact of dropping it. That means impact of the recoil. Because when you shoot a gun, it is
There was an explosion.
explosion.
There's an explosion happening, and all my, fake scope, all of a sudden, the
Yeah.
crosshairs are backwards or sideways
They
now.
flipped.
Yeah, so with airsoft, you can put an airsoft scope on a real steel scope, and for your first shot, second shot, third shot, yeah, they might be sighted in. After prolonged use, you're not going to be shooting on target anymore. If you put a real steel sight on an airsoft gun,
Overkill.
You're dumb because you just spent way more money than you need to. Nobody's gonna care, and
What do you mean, man? You got this $500 vortex scope on my
you would be
gun.
surprised how little I care. Like,
Look at this real Tragicon, man. They're gone.
it's number one, it doesn't give you any advantage to an airsoft scope. It's the same technology, it's just a little less robustly made. And when you break it, you're going to feel really bad that you broke a very expensive scope.
Yep.
So all the scopes that I have, 2 real steel scopes that got sent to me that I use for my guns, but I would never invest in a real steel scope for airsoft. No, there's no point.
It's exactly the same as your replica ones, right?
Yeah,
But
it's the-
just minus the tolerance for,
For impacts of
Impacts,
shooting a gun.
yeah.
Yeah, it's the exact same. Anybody who tells you different, slap them in the face. They're
Roger that.
talking out of their ass.
Point them out to you.
Yeah,
What other accessories would you consider?
cup holder.
Cup.
Always a cup holder.
Which
I know you sell one at your
which you
store.
can buy available.
www.housegamers.ca.
Okay, all right, there you go. Yeah.
No, I mean, no, because you can't put on canted sights because as soon as you tilt the gun, you're not
It
shooting
affects
anymore.
it. Yeah.
So something like this, what would you consider like a good add-on other than the scope?
Okay, of course the scope. I have a mount up here. I don't know if the camera can see it to put my scope cam. For airsoft guns, I like to put suppressors on them, especially if they're a gas sniper like my VSR-10. But for this gun, it does make a little bit of a difference. This one in particular, it doesn't make a huge difference because the only reason I put it on was because the inner barrel sticks out a little bit.
Cute.
Classic.
Classic.
Thanks,
yeah.
average.
So suppressors, yes, they help. No, they don't help. It's arguable. There's small
So
differences.
if it has proper baffles and everything at the front, does it still suppress the sound
Well,
from a
I mean,
distance, or it's already quiet enough?
You're stopping the sound of the air escaping fast, and it sort of diffuses the movement of air. So yeah, it's a little quieter. I'm sure it makes the piston a little quieter because you're covering up the hole where it's exposed. Negligible differences unless it's a gas system. So yeah, there's the barrel sticking out of it. The suppressor covers most of it, but it does help. It does help.
Okay.
Gotcha.
But yeah, I would say suppressors, if it's a gas system, are definitely something you should think about. If it's in a spring system, it'll help a little bit. I wouldn't worry about it. But
It really depends, I think, on a spring system because it comes back down to the science of it about voluming your
Yeah.
barrel and stuff
Yeah.
like that. Because I know that when people get into the whole over voluming factor, then like the suppressor will help a little bit and stuff like that. And even guys who like volume it properly, as soon as you throw the suppressor on there, then you're not hearing anything other
Yeah.
than the twang.
well, like my VSR10, my gas VSR10, I put a Mark 23 suppressor on the end of it, and seriously, it's
I remember that.
it's not fair.
Yeah.
I put the M4 mag adapter onto it with
Oh,
the
geez.
fast reloading system and a Mark 23 suppressor. It's not even fair.
I was impressed.
Like,
You were able to suppress people with your sniper rifle.
Oh, when I was one of my favorite moments ever playing airsoft, and I felt both very like honored that the guy would say this about me, and also I thought it was kind of funny. We were playing. Do you remember Ammo Depot, the old like
Yes. Yep.
barrels that were
Yep.
set up there? I was in there shooting down towards the cabins that are built now, and there was a guy coming up with a riot shield, and he yelled at me because he thought I was using full auto. Because I was shooting so fast at him. And that was before I put the upgrades on. That was just me with the bolt going back and back and hitting him over and over again. I was like, you thought I was using full auto? That's so kind of you, man.
Like the distance is so great that he could just send so many
Yeah.
rounds.
Just
down.
hold that trigger down.
Yeah.
Slam fire.
But yeah, I think with snipers, there's not a lot of upgrades you want to do.
What about,
bipods?
Bipods.
If you're
Are you
doing
big on it?
If you're doing a mil sim, yeah, sure, why not? But but drop in play, you're never going to be set up long enough that your arms are going to get tired enough to warrant you having a bipod. In my
Just
opinion.
extra
I think
weight.
It's
bipods
just
are
extra
cool.
weight.
I like it on my
Oh,
gun.
they look sick, of course. Yeah, like if you're at a mil sim and you're sitting in a window for 6 hours out of the day watching like a crossroads, yeah, get a bipod. You're gonna love it.
You're gonna love that. This thing's your best friend.
Yeah, but if you're just doing drop and play, it just adds weight. It's just gonna get in the way.
Gotcha. So your ergonomics is more strip everything down to the essential and
To
it's
the-
light.
If you're doing drop and play, that's all you need. You just want the essentials.
Yeah, but holding the average gun itself, this thing's not like
Chunky?
like
Yes.
not light at all.
No,
yeah,
it's not.
very heavy.
Is that the 24 or is that the 10?
That is the 8.
The
The SSG 10A2.
SSG 10. Yeah.
So that's the.
What's this model
It's the
out of
bigger
again?
body and yeah.
Yeah, it's a VSR 10 like the regular one.
Yeah, it's the
but
VSR 10
it
compatible
just-
platform.
Yeah,
with-
it
compared
just has
to
a
the actual
fancier-
VSR 10, like
That's
actually-
not an actual VSR 10.
No, it's
That's
not?
the House Gamers.
Ooh.
Come on,
is
man.
this
Tell us about this.
Is this the final?
Is this your final
product?
model?
This is the final pre-production model. We have 10 of them that we're going to be selling. They're all going to come signed with a thank you letter and a picture of me saying, "Hey, thanks."
So if you're in this part,
So
guys,
you buy it just for the photo.
Yeah.
you get a little exclusive from Dayton here.
Yeah, it's basically I just did what everyone
It's
else.
pretty weighty, actually. It's almost the same
well,
weight as
So I really put a lot
SSG 10.
of I really put a lot of thought into this. So the SSG 10 put a lot of weight into the outer barrel and the stock and stuff like that. I decided that I want to make it as light as possible because I love running around. So what I did was I made sure that the stock was strong. This is a nylon stock. This thing can you can wail on this thing and it's not going to break. The outer barrel is thick enough that it's not going to bend if you lean it on a window or something like that, but it's still light. And the most important thing to me was the bolt. So I wanted to make sure that it
Whoa.
was smooth. That was a pinky
Yep.
that just cocked this gun. It is so smooth, and the trigger is so
Hair.
light.
Hair
Oh, man,
trigger.
that's such a good thing because I mean, so many times I've seen young kids that have like, that watch your videos and they come out, they buy some, ASGL 96 or something like that. The gun is bigger than them, and they cannot rack the bolt.
They can't rack the bolt. That's especially once you upgrade the guns. Racking the bolt can get hard. This is a fully upgrade. I mean, you can feel it.
So this is number 2 because I got to try the prototype model, and for everyone out there, it was spicy.
So
like
it comes pre-threaded for suppressors or whatever you want to put on there. There's a rail, of course, but my favorite thing is
This is really light. Like I like this.
Yeah,
Like,
it's really light.
It definitely is balanced.
It's well balanced when you're holding it.
the cylinder itself is just so smooth.
Oh,
That's
that sounds
impressive.
power. That's power.
Yeah, and when you put a suppressor on it with the BB, the barrel goes. I'm not sure if you can see, but the barrel goes right to the tip of that gun.
Okay. All right.
So it goes like as far out as you can go. So what I wanted to do is make sure that happens so that when you put a suppressor on it, the entire length of your suppressor is being used to make it quiet.
Impressive.
So
this is all balanced for your needs and
Yeah,
your
so I
requirements.
really do like these. So this
So
comes
for
from
me-
your experience.
For me, the biggest thing with sniping, other than functionality of putting the BB far away, is being able to put a follow-up shot. And the way you get that is by the smoothness of the cylinder. So this is a Teflon-coated cylinder with a
nice.
a low friction piston. And what that lets you do is when you make that shot, your follow-up shots can just be so fast. Like, it's just so smooth. Like, it's ridiculous.
Is
You
that
just
full
wasted
auto, sir?
$10 BBs. That's a full auto.
But yeah, when you have a piston and cylinder that are that smooth, which is what I really wanted, that was the biggest thing for me, was if this is a gun that I'm going to want to play with every day, I want to make sure that follow-up is just so smooth.
So then, obviously, it's going to happen no matter what. And I found from my experience, no matter how much energy that you put into making a platform for people to just be able to play, I feel like for the everyday person, they'll be able to play, but there's going to be some people that are going to probably want to tune it up or do some kind of edit. What is it compatible with any other platform?
So it's VSR 10 components completely. Anything you want to put in, you can. I wouldn't recommend it. I mean, there's nothing else you need.
Yeah, you did all the work for them.
Yeah,
and
like this has been more than a year in progress, like working with parts and stuff like that. I've had so many parts come to my house and just putting them together, figuring out what works. And this is what I've set up as I think the best price and performance wise. I actually like for the base model, like our first batch, I'm making no money off of them because I've spent so much money on like production of it. But we definitely want it to be under 500 Canadian for.
Okay, so you're thinking about the Canadian market when you were building this.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
which is very important.
Literally, like this is every single one of them is. I'm bringing them to the, like they're assembled by me. Like they're.
Oh
wow.
Okay.
They're my guns.
Oh, all right.
So you're taking the Apple concept,
Yeah.
made in China, but assembled in Canada by the one himself.
But I want to do that, number one, because I want to make sure that the consistency is there. I want to make sure that every gun that comes from House Gamers is the same. And
So
performs the same.
you're not only assembling it, but you're doing quality control.
I'm doing the quality control personally, and then also the guns are literally being brought to the post office by me. So
Okay.
it is
This is a
It is
Dayton
made with
Bauder.
love
This
all
is
the way through.
100%
Gamers
house
gun. Yes.
operation, in-house operation.
So
Yeah.
is this something similar that Novrich is doing,
So-
or is he more business-like versus you, where you're doing most everything in-house?
all I want to do is make a gun that shoots well, and people can just not complain. They can just take it out of the box and go shoot. One of my guns has been used by my friend Hayden, who plays airsoft sniping almost exclusively. He's been using it for 3 months now.
Okay.
Wow, yeah.
Almost like exclusively. And just before I gave him his gun, he upgraded a Bar 10 with everything you could get, all Action Army parts, everything you could put into the gun, fully upgraded, over $1,000. And
Hasn't touched
he
it.
had one game with my gun and was like,
Poor guy.
"Can I buy your gun?" And then he bought a gun off of me because he
There you
was
go.
like, "They're just that good."
Well, definitely from my experience playing with it and shooting with it, it was amazing considering, what was it that you had, was it 4.6s or 4.9s that you had?
So, so fun fact: this gun out of the box at half hop up can shoot 4.9s. So if at some point it comes out that you're shooting 0.6s, like somebody makes a 0.6 BB, I'm sure it can still shoot 0.6s.
I don't think they'll be able to make 0.6 unless they start using metals on it.
Please don't.
Well, so that's important though, because the reason why I wanted the hop up to have efficiency with it isn't just because I wanted people to be able to use whatever weights they want. The more you have to push down the hop up to get that backspin, you're slowing down the BB more. You're putting more force on the BB. If you can just have a more efficient hop up bucking and be able to get that same backspin for those heavy weights without putting as much pressure on it, you're saving a lot of energy in the BB.
And you're definitely like not wearing out the bucking as much as well.
Exactly. So when you have a more efficient bucking, that means you don't have to have as strong of a spring to get the FPS that you want, which makes it quieter. You don't need as good of a seal as you need, which means you can take it apart and put it back together, and it doesn't have to be done in a factory to get the seal that you need. And it makes it quieter. So when you put a suppressor on it, it's quiet. Like it's quiet. But yeah, I love the gun. I put so much work into it. I'm so happy with how it's turned out.
Is
to
that
be honest
500 with just the gun itself, no scope and no accessories, right?
Yeah, I think we're looking for just under 500 with gun, 2 megs, and a.
That's not bad.
2
That's
megs.
not bad.
2 megs.
And
Are mags compatible with just standard like TM or VSR mags?
I don't know. Well. So don't quote me on that because there are so many different brands
and the
GSR 10
tolerances
megs
definitely,
that it might not be all of them.
All right, which is understandable because that is the airsoft market.
That's
unfortunately.
what the market is right now.
Once you get this out into market, someone or yourself is gonna go through that field test, and they're gonna let the community know.
Oh no! I guarantee you, as soon as this goes for sale, somebody's gonna get it and be like, "My VSR 10 megs didn't fit, garbage gun."
I was hoping it would go the other way, right?
Somebody is gonna complain that
Someone's
their one no-name mag that's been sitting on their shelf for 30 years.
The one with the
doesn't
broken
fit.
feed lip.
Doesn't fit in.
How dare
It doesn't work.
you? How dare you?
How dare you release a gun and it doesn't fit my mag?
So
You think you are?
The mags themselves are kind of interesting. We added in a little nub here at the back of the mag. I'm not sure, camera probably can't see that, but that's added in to get a better angle at it.
Okay.
All right, so it's like a little stabilization.
Yeah, it's a little bit of stabilization, so it's not quite as loose in the mag, because I'm sure anyone who's played with VSR 10 knows that it doesn't matter what gun you have, you're going to have feeding issues sometimes.
I feel like that's
I feel like it's every
any
gun.
gun out there.
Yeah.
Is feeding problems, you know?
It's just the way
It happens.
It's a sphere.
Yeah, it's part of it. Yeah.
Even with real steel, it's always feeding issues.
But yeah, I've really tried my best at working out any problem that I could see coming up with it.
That's
And,
awesome.
I mean, you're going to have problems that you have with airsoft.
Yeah.
Sears are going to break.
Exactly.
Pistons are going to break. You know, buckings are going to rip. That's what happens. But out of the box, I think this thing's going to be freaking stellar.
Well, definitely from my opinion, it's going to be a very valuable thing to be entering the market just because of the fact that everyone who plays airsoft and all the people that are out there who give out their opinions, I feel like live in some really nice conditions. And I'm not saying that, Vancouver is crap, right? But we go through the 4 seasons quite often.
Yeah.
And
Sometimes
all
in one day.
We dramatically go through the 4 seasons.
Exactly. Sometimes twice in one day, mind you.
Yeah.
And so definitely with that, because we're in such acclimate weather, we're able to see the pros and cons and the min-maxing of all the systems. So definitely your experience into this platform is very valuable.
Yeah. And like I said, I put a lot of time into airsoft sniping, so I felt like it was time.
Well, there you go.
Yeah,
Dean's getting into the market. House
exclusive for Folding Table Talk here, guys.
Yeah.
When are you gonna start selling it?
We're working on putting together the sales system right now. What I'd really like to do, my dream was that every single one of these would be coming with either the nylon stock or a wood stock, and I wanted it to be a made in Canada wood stock.
Are you still going to do? I don't know if you had your prototype here, but the
there's that
hydro
theory.
dip. Are you still going to go through that?
That was a prototype that we made.
That was really cool.
That looks pretty cool.
This was actually our first prototype.
That was so cool.
This one, it has the same cylinder and everything. Oh man, this one's okay. So this is actually a good showing of what it looks like broken in. Because this one's been used and abused by dozens of people.
Yep.
So this one is the stock one. You can see the cylinder is nice and smooth. Like it's not hard to do. But I mean, like when you have it like that, the piston's not going to move. It hasn't been broken in yet. It's out of the box, brand fresh. This one, once you've had time to break it in a little bit and get it working and playing on the field, the piston just gets so smooth. It is freaking the most beautiful gun. Like, I can't describe to you how nice it is when you have a sniper that can shoot freaking 480, 500 FPS, and the cylinder still just shoots itself down just like that, you know? But yeah, the best thing by far is the piston. I wish I had a way of showing how light the trigger is. Like, you can roll up a piece of paper and freaking shoot the gun. It's not going to fit in the hole. I need more props. Boy, where's the props? Okay, there you go. A little roll of paper, and it's like, oh, now it's not going to work. But yeah, it's when they get broken.
So you like the hair triggers then?
Well, of course.
You just want stuff to go out once.
Of course. Yeah. But yeah, that's the nice thing about the nylon stocks is they're super, super strong, and you can get them hydro dipped, and it won't all wipe off and look ugly.
Cool. So when are we expecting this?
I'm hoping that we can get at least the pre-production, like the prototypes that we have, sold for Christmas, if not Christmas, beginning next year.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm definitely excited to see this because having to play the prototype, I definitely would like to have my own.
Yeah, don't
It's
worry,
just-
we're gonna get our hands on it.
It's just gonna be sick to have a gun that people can just pick up and go play with,
And that it
like
works.
see
That
what it's
works.
like to play as a sniper and get a
Yeah.
kill at a long range. Like there's a part of me that doesn't want to put it out there because like right now I'm
Because
pretty
now
sure
everyone's gonna go against you.
I'm pretty sure I have the best sniper rifle at Panther Airsoft.
You do.
So
Let's be
I don't
honest here,
wanna-
you do.
I don't want to give out that power.
I feel that. I feel like you just opened a floodgate. You're definitely gonna get
I'm gonna
fighting.
blame him for starting next year. All the kids have their
Yeah.
House Gamers sniper rifle, and everybody has one.
Little
Yeah,
does
we're just
everyone
held down by a
know
volley.
because
Thanks to
Dayton is
you.
hand assembling
I'm
these.
gonna make
He's
each one of them.
handicapping every single one.
Every single one of them has some sort of errors.
No. When he says quality control, it's really quality limiting.
Making sure he doesn't get
I'm putting a
outsniped.
governor on each one.
Handicap.
Yeah. No, I think the only thing that's going to be a competitor to those guns once they're out on the field is just my gas VSR-10, just because of the follow-up shots. I think I basically maxed out range with that gun. So all that's going to change is
so
the speed of
definitely
the
you're going to
shots.
make the sniper's dream, just because obviously especially with the sniper platform, with that mentality that you get into. Because I know when I played with one of my friends snipers the first time, I got disappointed the very first time. I remember that. It's just like you shoot it and it shot like I'm pretty sure it shot shorter than the stock AEGs available for rental.
Yeah.
And so definitely to have something like this to be able to actually kind of immerse yourself into that role, that definitely cool.
It is really cool, and that's why I still do it because I freaking love sniping.
Well, there you go. You have a
love it.
true sniper here, guys.
I love it.
Yeah.
Because I'm telling you right now, there's a lot of faux snipers out there.
Well, I mean, okay. Well, I mean, if you're gonna unpack that can of worms, I mean, you really get into it, though, right? Because what is a sniper?
Yeah. Like Dayton, your
In
opinion.
airsoft? I mean-
in your opinion, what is a
airsoft, what
sniper
is a
for you?
sniper?
Because in real world, it's different from what we do here.
So I think in airsoft, unless you're playing at a milsim, there aren't any snipers on the field. I think they're just marksmen. I mean,
Okay.
just someone with a more accurate. I think the main thing that separates what would be considered a sniper in airsoft is really just having the scope on the gun, because a lot of guns can shoot the same distance unless you've got an upgraded gun. I think the difference is being able to adjust for those long shots, and having the scope to see what your BB's doing downrange lets you do that. And I think that's what separates a regular player on the field to a marksman or sniper, is being able to adjust for the second shot. So in real life, a sniper is someone who's given a target, has to complete that mission, whatever it is, taking out a target or
Most of the
reconnaissance.
time, they're doing recon work.
Yeah, or
Yeah.
reconnaissance.
Most
Recon
of the time,
work.
they're not even shooting.
It's just
Yeah.
the movies that have made it seem like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
So-
they have a high precision
I mean,
rifle.
they
That means that they're
do-
going to take out an
don't get them
HVT.
wrong, right? They do take
Yeah, they do take.
high value targets
HVT
or
out.
precision shots and stuff like that. But
Yeah.
yeah, it's definitely it's a vital role. Like, especially when you're talking like in a milsim aspect too, right? Like, I've gone to my milsims where definitely, like, if we didn't have that recon element to give us that added, bit of intel,
Yeah.
like, it can change.
Or even like at Red Dawn when I was on top of that building, having someone who can be up there to give call outs.
It's the
and then
call outs
also
that were the most
Overwatch,
important.
yeah.
Like
Yeah.
when I was down there, I see nothing in my fog of war. When
Yeah.
he's on top, he can see troop movements and stuff, and I'll pass it along.
Yeah.
So that's the usefulness of someone who's a sniper and recon at the same time.
We take it to that, like,
Yeah.
take that role right to the.
But you've also done HVT work, like high value
Yeah.
target takedowns, which
So-
is hella fun.
The takedowns and stuff like that, where you're like, okay, find where the commander is, take him out, take a picture of his dead body. That's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
That's where I will say, like, milsims, definitely there are sniper roles. You can have a team that has to go do an objective, surveil a place or take out a target. 100%, that is a
Yeah,
sniper
so when you're
role.
doing recce work,
Yeah.
you're gonna have an attached sniper. But what you don't see is an entire platoon of snipers.
Yes.
That's the difference.
So with drop-in, I would say there are really no snipers. There are marksmen. There are people with scopes that can accurately shoot you in one shot. Yes, but they're not being a sniper out on the field where it's like, okay, I have to take out this guy because it's just not in the game. It's just not a thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're just looking for accuracy at that point and precision shooting.
Well, not even accuracy, just being able to see what the BB does downrange. Because once you leave 150 feet your eye line, that's
it's
when
really hard to see.
not only is it hard to see, but that's when the effects on the BB are exaggerated the most.
Yeah, the variables
Yeah.
can magnify. And
Yeah.
Definitely, and speaking of that too, exactly, when a lot of people talk about consistency and RHOP and all that other stuff too, a lot of the time if they're playing in an indoor situation, that's probably the max open space you would have, I think, in some of the warehouses.
Yeah.
So definitely, like, for us, we see the maximum effect on a lot of the stuff when it comes to
Well,
airsoft.
like in CQB though, I don't even use a sight. Like when I'm doing speed shooting and stuff like that, when I was in Taiwan for the World Cup and stuff like that, I smoked all of those people who were there for the competition.
Just with the
And-
Springer.
No, not with a Springer. No, they all had their sights up and stuff like that, and they were aiming and stuff like that.
G&G guns, yeah.
Yeah, when I went to go do it, I remember they looked at me and they're like, "Why don't you want the sights up?" And I'm like, "No, why the hell would I use sights at like 60
No, once you
feet?"
find your
Like,
zone, just hold it tight
I
and
would
then
just
go
say,
for
don't
it.
you airsoft?
and just press your cheek up against the butt of the
Side
gun.
of the
and-
gun.
Yeah, and just shoot. And
First two shots, you're
Okay,
where you're
I got
going.
my
Yeah.
spot,
I
yeah.
think I have a vlog of it actually. I went up against the US team and I smoked them by like 10 seconds on the
Really?
speed shooting.
Wow.
Like it was
When you naturally just want to shoot, like, you drag your gun and then shoot.
Yeah.
You're gonna get there faster than someone trying to hold,
And aim.
the
Try
zeros.
and find a sight
Yeah.
picture and
Yeah.
stuff like that, yeah.
yeah,
No, I
CQB
get
I
you.
wouldn't even use a sight.
No.
Yeah,
So,
most of the time it's point
with-
and shoot.
With like the sniper role being out there, why is it so popular? Like from your end,
I think
And
it was popularized by YouTube a lot.
is it
Okay.
your fault?
I think it's partially my fault.
Well, it's
yeah.
the highlights, right? I mean, it's
Do you think it
those-
was a help of, like, sort of like a mix, I guess, just because, like you said, too, with video games and everything like that, it was
Yeah,
like
it
a
was-
mix of the two?
So I think the sniper role in general is a really glorified role in
It is,
war
yeah.
because it's cool.
It's
I mean,
covert,
You're far away and taking out a guy who has
But
no
on
idea.
a regular skirmish
Yeah.
where
Yeah.
everybody's a sniper.
And
I always think of Behind Enemy Lines.
yeah, and
With
yeah,
Owen Wilson?
awesome movie, awesome movie.
Wow.
But yeah, like in drop-ins, I think being a sniper is cool, but sometimes you're a lot more effective not being a sniper.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
definitely
100%.
there's a lot of like pros and cons to it
Yes.
when you choose. But I mean, again, that always comes down to the individual basis and everything like that. So one thing that I will ask you though is because of the sniper platforms, right? I know a lot of people. Some people don't, but some people are obviously mindful of this and stuff like that. Snipers, MEDs, secondaries. Have you had to do much switching to a secondary?
Oh, yeah.
Do you care about what you are using as a secondary?
That's a good
Or-
question.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I sort of,
you know?
I sort of keep it in. I change my gameplay to what my loadout is a lot of times. So sometimes I'll just play with just a sniper, and I'll
Respect the MED,
I'll
yeah.
respect the MEDs. If somebody's
Run
shooting
away,
at me
yeah.
close, I'll just run. Like it's not a
Yep,
big deal.
yeah.
But like milsims and stuff like that, usually I'll just do a pistol because the sniper rifles and stuff like that can reach out far enough that if somebody gets close with the Mark 23, I can range as far as
The sniper rifle,
as the sniper rifle, pretty much.
Is that,
So
is,
it's not a
is
big
your
deal.
influence from the Mark 23
Yeah,
from
is that
Bod
your
Jumps?
go-to? Is just to go to the.
I'd say my go-to is the Mark 23 or the SSX, whichever one, an average one.
They're pretty much the same, right?
It's pretty tough.
They're pretty much the same.
But
yeah.
I'm guessing your influence is from Bod Jumps using the Mark 23, isn't it?
Yeah.
because
Yeah,
he uses it as well.
He was the first person to really use. He used a MP7 for a while, which was really cool, and I was really happy when I got mine. But
yeah, your gas.
Yeah.
one,
yeah,
is
it's really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Too heavy to use though, or
No, it's just I don't need it.
They're
It's
pretty
clunky
balanced. From my opinion, I've used them and I like it. I just don't. They're hard to make. They're hard to run reliably up here with our
With the
weather.
temperatures,
Yeah,
yeah.
with our weather conditions.
Yeah, 100%.
one question.
Okay.
I noticed that all your guns don't have slings. You don't use slings as well,
For
right?
milsims, I do. Not for.
See, he's like me.
So,
No, I was gonna say get out of here, then.
Yeah, it's similar to a bipod. I think it gets in the way.
Yeah.
That being said, I mean, I've used them before in drop-ins, and it's nice to have a sling where you can just throw it on your back after the game, whatever. But I mean, whenever I'm playing, I usually have my rifle, and then if I stop somewhere, I don't even leave my sidearm on the holster. I just set it beside me. Because
Okay.
it's
Yeah.
gonna be
Ready to go,
it's
yeah.
gonna be way quicker to drop
That's
my
saved.
gun and pull
I've,
my
I've
gun.
seen that on videos where it saved him way too many times, where he's just like sniping and all of a sudden he just.
Oh yeah. Well, I love it because people think I have a really quick draw.
No, you don't.
Sometimes like I'm pretty quick at pulling
I
it
know,
up.
I
but
know where you place your Mark 23, and it's a hard,
I
it's a
used
hard
to-
reach to get there.
I used to have my Mark 23 on a PP holster, and it went straight in the center of my body. 'cause-
Appendix carry.
Yeah.
No, like
No,
right
no,
over
no.
my
No,
PP.
and
Because
it was a cheap holster too.
it
Yeah,
was
you
a
can't-
Halloween costume holster, but it was the only thing the Mark 23 would fit in.
The suppressor, I
Yeah.
know, man. Trying to watch people do
Yeah,
the long
yeah,
draw,
yeah.
the long draw with it.
Well, that's why I like the double
difficult.
tap design one, because
Yeah.
you can pull
Yeah, yeah,
out.
the
pull it
open
right off.
3D printed one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I mean about that one. Like the draw that I have with that is actually pretty quick. Like
yeah.
you can.
No,
you can
he's
pull
quick
out.
with it. He's quick with it.
Plus,
That
you do
system's
it enough
definitely
times.
nice to use.
Yeah,
I like
well,
that
holsters
holster system.
definitely play a big part into like that.
I don't like the drop leg holsters. I don't like them.
I have moved away from those, yeah, because
center
I actually
of
just got my new
movement
holster.
is
Yeah,
the
so
best way.
excited.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Let's get back to the topics of sniper role. On your point of view, is it important for like being a marksman, or is it more important to like stalk and hunt your target or prey? What is your opinion on that?
So, in my opinion, it depends on what's happening in the game at the time. So, if I see that there's a lot of people pinned down in a certain area because they're dickheads in a window that keep popping up and shooting,
Yeah.
then I will stay and help them, because the best thing to do for the team is to help them move. But also, I've had games where people are having regular fights all over the place. No one's really stuck in place, so I get given a task to go take out a target or something like that. Then I'll go do it. I think it's really dependent on what's happening in the game at the time, because if you have a regular fire team, it is indispensable to have a DMR with you or a sniper with you, because there's every once in a while you'll just get into a position where it's like, okay, everybody's pinned down, they're watching down this hallway. You can peek around this corner and get them before he can get you. Do it. And that's what I love about sniping, is a lot of times when you're firing at range, even if the guy's got an LMG full autoing at you,
He doesn't have the reach.
You can peek around a corner and line up a shot if you just peek your little head around.
Yeah.
And people hate me for that, because I'm not a big person.
You are
So-
not. You're a very big target. You are hard targets at times.
I'm really good at poking out just a little tiny
Yeah.
bit, keeping the elbow in, and doing that and shooting where all you can see is the scope. And for the longest time, I had a big camera on top of my gun, which was awesome because everything was a gun hit.
I remember
was
that.
funny.
Pro tip: get a big camera.
Big camera counts as a gun.
Jeez.
Full stop. You're regular here.
Yeah, now they
switch to your
added that
secondary.
stupid
Switch to
rule.
your secondary.
Local cheater exposed.
I will commend anyone that actually does follow that rule.
I
Because I,
do it-
have seen it happen
Yeah.
in front of me while reffing, and it brings me joy, because it's like, they were actually honest to the point where it's like, oh, even one gun hit, their primary's down, and now they're on like survival last of us, last stand kind of thing with the pistol. It's like, I only have one mag, like
Last standing it.
it's like, well, we're picking our shots, boys. Like,
I definitely have been in situations before I heard of this new rule where my gun's been shot and I've wanted to play out like, oh, my gun got shot, I can't shoot. But usually I just play, I don't even bring a sidearm when I'm doing drop-ins. So I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, my main's down and I'm alone in this bush.
yeah. And thanks, COVID, knives are not a thing right now.
Yeah, unfortunately.
So
You had that one knife kill on me. That was hilarious.
That
wasn't even a knife kill. That was like a mercy
gun
from
to the
the
side
gun
of
to
the
the side of the head. He took out. I don't know.
It was
what
a
video
revolver.
was
It was
that?
the Dan Weston revolver. It was one of my first ever gameplays.
Yeah.
And I snuck around the backside of
So we knew
Fortress.
his reputation for being like a really good accurate shot. So we were behind walls and stuff, little cracks. We're looking around, right? We're like, he's over there. We know he's over there. Yes. Everybody watch that way.
But they don't know I'm small and quick.
Not only is he small and quick, but he's also quiet when he leaves an area and flanks you.
Yeah.
So I got right behind them, and it was like a movie. There was like 6 guys in the fortress all watching where I was, because they were in the fortress. That was the goal, was to capture fortress, and they knew nobody else could get in. The only thing they had to worry about was the one sniper on the team picking them off. So they're all like, okay, let's watch this way.
Oh
And then
my
I went
gosh.
around them, came in behind. I mercied like 4 people.
Yeah.
One of them being Poi, came out to the back of his head and just put the Dan Weston revolver up to the back
And
of
here I'm
his
going,
head.
oh.
And then, I went up to the walls and heard people outside and poked out the window with my arm, and I was like, you're dead. And they're like, oh.
He took the entire fortress by himself.
Yeah, the entire fortress, but I would say that was one of
impressive.
the moments that
That's
got
some
me
magical
really
gameplay, yeah.
magical moment that got me hooked on the game for sure.
Yeah, no, definitely. It's those moments too, right? And it's being able to capture those moments on film, and especially like that. And I think that's one of the things that sensationalizes and idolizes like your channel and similar channels. And I would say the influencers, just you guys that are out there pumping out that content and stuff like that. You guys have the time and the lifestyle to be able to do that, which is great. And I commend you for
It's a lot of that comes from the support I get from the viewers and stuff. I will not even hesitate
and hard
to
work
thank
on
all
your
the
end
people.
too, right? And hard work on your end too, because
Yeah.
I don't want to ever downplay the amount of work that you've had to go in. Where a lot of people are just finding you now, or they've heard about you or anything like that. Misconceptions. It's like no, you were from the ground up kind of guy, and like for people to see the fruits of your labor now, it's really
Like
great.
I was under 1,000 subscribers when we started airsoft videos. Like I was, I think the first 1,000 subscribers underneath the paint on my VSR10, there are still 1,000 tick marks because I was putting a tick mark for every subscriber that I
wow.
gained. Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah. From what I remember, was Jack was saying you guys get a text message every time you get a subscriber.
Yeah,
or
we
something.
used to get a text message every
That got
time we got a
annoying quick.
subscriber. We had to turn that off.
Jeez, and that was like, oh man,
That was 4 years ago.
Oh,
four and a half years ago.
There was an old system where YouTube, I can't remember if maybe it was just subscribers, but I think it was people leaving comments. It would send us an email every time we got a comment, and there was some YouTube update or something, or we signed up with an MCN or something like that happened, and it reset our settings that we had for that. And like the day after we'd signed up and gotten everything ready, we woke up to my phone and I had like 600 new emails because there were new comments and subscribers and stuff like that. And it was just like, oh, okay, well, I hope I didn't get any important emails because they're gone.
Because they're gone now.
Select all, delete.
Yeah.
Oh man, that was 4 years. That's not a long time. Your career has started from like.
Hey, well, I mean, that is a good amount
impressive.
of time. Right?
When you take it day to day, it's a long time. Looking back, it doesn't feel like a long time.
No, it doesn't feel like a long time.
But each of those videos, man, they're a lot of work, especially the TTTs. People don't realize the TTTs are a
not
lot
only is it
of
a
work.
lot of
to
work
edit.
for you, but the production behind the scenes,
Yeah.
it's a lot of work as well. It's not only just like for him making videos. For me, it's like, planning and sort of scripting like how people will react
multiple
and stuff.
POVs.
Well, and you-
Well,
also
hold on. Don't say that because then people are going to think that we script the TTTs.
No, we don't
To
script.
clarify, the TTTs are not
No,
scripted.
we're not scripted. It's not
Well, so
scripted.
actually, that's what I was gonna get to too. Is that, and unfortunately, with those things, it's like you got to pick the certain people to play with too, because it definitely plays into it.
There is a certain amount of method to my madness of I pick people based on
pick
how they're gonna
characters.
react and
Yeah.
stuff. It's basically based on characters and how people react to
Yeah,
people, right?
it's not only how people react; it's how people work with each other. Like
Yeah.
you don't want to. If you have two people who are like in a fight with each other, or
or
like somebody
or
just
there's-
doesn't like somebody,
Or,
that's
or
kinda-
my most hated one was there's two people that are just really quiet. Unfortunately,
is a
for
talking
video,
game. Yeah,
this is
exactly.
a lot more RP and LARPing.
Yeah, you need to be active, and that's why my favorite character out of let's say your guys TT, if we were to call it like a series, is Josh. 100%. Like my favorite character
Actually,
is Josh.
You know who I really miss? Matthew.
Matthew.
What's his? I I guess we shouldn't say his last name anyways, but Matthew. Yeah, oh man, I loved playing TTT with him. He was so much fun. And Simon, when he screams like a little girl.
I enjoy playing with Kyle every time he plays. It's always good fun.
Honestly, we can't pick out one person. Everybody who plays the TTT
Everybody's great. Everybody who
has
comes
their
in there is
moments.
always
I hate
impressive.
Adam,
Yeah.
but like I love him at the same time.
There are a couple, I won't say names or anything, but there are a couple TTT videos that I just couldn't edit together because nobody, like we had the regular crew, but then there were the couple people
That joined in.
Just, they threw a wrench into the mix. Either they take it too serious and they're like, oh, I'm here to get kills, or they
forget it's a game.
They forget it's a game, or they're too quiet, or it just doesn't mesh right. It really, like a lot of people.
I'm looking for a lot of interactions when it comes to decent. It's basically almost like an acting gig, honestly.
Pretty much.
Yeah, and unfortunately, there's a lot of people that want to join in, and I have to decline right away because of the fact that I want to keep it as fluid as possible when I'm running the games.
Yeah.
Right. So that's why we have regulars for these things, and Dayton's been great at editing all of these things because it's hilarious.
Some of the things that we get up to is quite questionable.
I'm able to edit out a lot of stuff. I see all the
good.
camera angles, and thankfully there's always another camera to switch to when Kyle's doing his thing.
Kyle's doing something. It's time to switch cameras. That's a little bit
Let's see
questionable.
what Josh is up to now.
It's like the camera's supposed to be pointing at me.
Oh my gosh, we got you so many different variations of the game mode itself.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, that's going off topic.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's another topic for another day.
Yeah. But is there anything else you want to add to sort of like springers and as well as like sniper rolls?
I would say just don't be afraid of it. Like a lot of people are gonna tell you it's stupid, don't get a Springer as your first gun, or it's stupid, like you're just gonna sit and do nothing. Yeah, those are both true. It's gonna suck your first couple games.
Face the facts.
Face the facts. It's gonna suck. That's just the way it goes. But the couple moments where badass things happen, or you make a really long shot, or you just, I don't know, you just sit and somebody walks by you and doesn't see you, and then you're able to shoot them in the back, like that type of stuff. That's what pays off for me. Like a lot of my videos look like stuff's flowing pretty quickly, but sometimes I'm sitting there for 20 minutes laying in stinging nettle waiting for something to happen.
It's worth it. It's worth it.
But it's worth it. So I would say don't be afraid of it. If it's something you want to do, try it out. It's more than possible to have fun and also not get a ton of kills in a day. So do it. Try it out. Why not?
And for aspiring YouTubers,
don't do airsoft. There's so many.
Don't start with airsoft.
Yeah, don't. I don't know. There's just so many airsoft
diversify.
YouTubers.
I'm guessing is what
I
you're saying.
definitely feel like he jumped in there at the right time.
I feel 100% that I got there in the right time. I feel
Because
like
you were coming up, Silo was coming up.
yeah.
Well, it also
Dutch,
helps that you're technically
clean shot.
Canada's #1 airsoft.
Well, you're
Not
our
technically, I am.
Yes. What are you talking about?
boy. You are our boy.
Yeah.
like
I'm honestly like I'm really humbled by the fact that I get to be sort of the face of airsoft for Canada. It's kind of cool.
and like it's a pretty big deal.
It's definitely an interesting feeling when like, especially just the simple thing of like when I go to Airsoft Con or something like that, and people who I've never met before know me and know my name and like have seen my videos and can like
Obsessed with
Converse with you
converse
like they
with
know
me
you.
like they know me.
Yeah.
And like it's a really weird feeling. It's awesome because I love meeting the people that watch the stuff, but it can be a little creepy sometimes, but it's cool.
Please don't show up to Dayton's house.
Don't do that.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
But
Man.
yeah,
Call first.
call first.
Take him out for dinner at least.
And bring Timmy's. Like, don't just show up empty-handed.
Yeah.
If you stalk me and find my house, don't show up empty-handed. You know? Timmy's or beer.
And for springers in general, we haven't even scratched the surface. You've only scratched what you're used to, which is basically
bolt action.
snipers.
Snipers,
yeah.
We
Honestly,
literally have shotguns. We literally have pistols.
I feel like
springers.
we can go over that stuff pretty quick. Okay, Springer pistols. Yeah, you have fun shooting with your friends in the backyard. You want to
base,
pull a meme? Go ahead, bring it to a regular game. You're gonna have
It's a fun
time, but-
punishment weapon for TTT. I can tell you that.
They're Springer pistols are like indestructible. That one in particular has sat outside of this airsoft field for a month.
A month. Yeah.
Outside, and it still works.
And then I go, oh, and then we ran another TTT game, and we're like,
And we
where'd you
found
find
it.
that gun?
Yeah.
It's like, oh, it's in the field. I'm like, okay, I guess.
It's in game.
It's in game.
Look,
using
guys, the
it.
biggest thing with that is consistency.
Yeah. So yeah, Springer pistols, they're freaking Springer pistols. If you shoot more than 35 feet, then you have a god gun for Springers.
This does, yeah.
They're fun to play with, but you're not going to upgrade them to shoot like a sniper rifle.
Shotgun.
Springer shotguns, so much fun, especially for TTT and stuff like that. A ton of fun. Do not invest in any spring shotgun that shoots less than at least 3 rounds per shot, because otherwise you
Use a sniper rifle.
it's basically a pump action sniper rifle at that point. This one does 3 and 6,
Yeah,
right?
three and 6. Yeah.
What brand is this one?
That's SEMA.
SEMA, yeah.
That's only $100.
Yeah, $100.
And it's
3
lasted us this long.
Yeah, 3 and 6 rounds, pump action shotgun. Like, you can have a ton of fun with it. They're loud. They don't shoot far, but if you're playing CQB, 6 BBs coming at someone, you're not going to miss.
Yeah,
Definitely.
the odds are in your favor.
Yeah.
Definitely the intimidation factor with that as well. Like,
Coming
Once you
around
rack.
the corner, with the barrel.
Yeah, but I would say outside of spring sniper rifles, don't expect crazy performance, but they can still be a ton of fun. Spring pistols, fun for the backyard. You can do a little meme.
speaking
Oh
of
boy, speaking of memes.
So this is a gun that I had in my
The field.
closet for a very long time, and then we're using it on the field. So they upgraded it. It's got red dot. It's got the zoom from a
It's
EOTech.
also backwards.
It's got a backwards front 45 grip, a vertical grip, a blue tactical flashlight.
Just so you can make sure you line up those shots.
Yeah, a adjustable assault style stock and a battery. You might notice though, it is spring, and it does have a full auto mode, which doesn't do anything. But the possibly greatest part about this gun is the magazine. Oh, I forgot, it's also got the side grip too. Yeah.
Just in case you need to do a kill shot.
This magazine is the coolest thing. So Springer guns, because you don't have to worry about their performance at all, because you're not going to get any, they add cool stuff like this magazine. So this is a high cap, mid cap.
What?
So yeah, it's a high cap, mid cap. So you fill the magazine at the bottom with BBs, and then there's a hole at the bottom of the spring. So you pull it down and you shake it, and the BBs run into the groove, and then you let go of the spring and it pops them up. So you only have like 20 shots in the magazine, but there's like 200 rounds in the magazine. So every time you need to reload, you just pull the spring back, give it a shake.
You got to patent this stuff and make your own magazines.
When will we see this? So available on House Gamers Airsoft.
the next House Gamers product.
The high cap, mid cap mags.
Springer, we got to get a Springer.
Yeah.
We're coming for you, PTS.
But yeah, I think don't expect performance out of anything spring other than a sniper rifle, but that doesn't mean you can't have fun. Spring shotguns, tons of fun.
Yeah.
Spring pistols, get 10 of them, go with your buddies in the backyard, tons of fun, but don't expect performance.
Alrighty.
Yeah.
Interesting. So we learned a lot about Springers. There's like bolt
Yeah, well,
action
there was
snipers. There's a
definitely,
lot of physics involved.
Yeah, wealth of knowledge in there on that part.
Like I said, I put a lot of time into figuring out spring bolt actions and just spring guns in general.
And I feel like that's definitely a common misconception just with airsoft in general too, right? A lot of people pick up play, take it right out of the box, and then they're used to seeing what movies do, or they're used to seeing how their real guns perform and everything like that. And it's all like, oh, well, why isn't said gun performing like said product? And it's all like
science behind it.
Again, there is a whole nother factor to the fact that this is airsoft.
Well, to be fair though, with airsoft guns, spheres are inherently a terrible projectile.
100%.
Yeah, I agree.
Horrible.
I
The
agree.
worst shape for
But also
a
the
projectile.
safest, apparently.
Yeah. Well,
You know what?
I was gonna say if you played
I
with
feel like the
pellet-
debate is still on
so
that.
okay, so let me break it down to you in 2 ways.
Here
Number
we go.
one,
Yep.
yes, the safest because it slows down the fastest. 2, technically the most dangerous because on impact there is, if it's a perfect sphere, an infinitely small point where all of the force is being applied.
Yeah.
So technically more dangerous but less dangerous. That being said, they're small plastic pellets. Shut up.
I've seen it embed in someone's skin. Come on.
I've had it embedded in my skin.
Yeah,
but,
been there. Yeah.
yeah, I don't know. If you're talking about pain in airsoft, don't play airsoft if you can't deal with the pain.
There you go, guys. You heard it here.
Yeah.
Interesting. So if you had it rifled, would that make a difference?
No, it would probably
Well,
make it
that's
worse.
a topic for a different story.
No,
if we want to
rifling
get
in
into
will
airsoft
not do
rifling.
anything.
It's not even a topic. That's a
Purely-
very simple
yeah,
answer.
it's
Rifling
purely
in an
on
airsoft
air.
gun does
No.
nothing.
Air efficiency.
It will give more space for air to escape around the BB, making it not hit its maximum velocity from the air that's being presented. And number two, if it does anything, it's going to add a twist to the BB, left or right, which is going to make it. It's going to sort of cancel out the Magnuson effect.
Well, like
So
when it
less
comes
air
like
efficiency.
yeah, well, with like just like not getting too detailed into it, but like airsoft rifling compared to like actual gun rifling is a little bit different. But yeah,
I don't think there's a version of airsoft rifling that would work.
well, like the only ones I've ever seen are like a slit down the whole center of the barrel, and then ones
twist.
and then ones at like a 45 or whatever it is.
like
And
a
the whole
bevel?
point of it is like the way air is being pushed on it, because in theory the airsoft BB is riding inside the
On a cushion of air, is that what they're trying to say?
yeah, with the cushion of air,
Okay,
and,
Tesla.
and that's why like a lot of people suggest PDI barrels, because the consistency in the barrel is really nice. So in like if you're using like a type bore, most likely the BB is riding the top of the barrel all the time.
In theory, if you have a sphere
Yeah.
inside of that barrel and there's a channel in the bottom,
Yeah.
the liquid dynamics makes it so that air is a liquid. If you're talking about its motion and
In
stuff
fluid
like that.
dynamics, yeah.
So underneath, less resistance, faster moving, that'll create negative air pressure and pull the BB down. So I guess technically,
If you had
that
it
would-
the other way around,
that might help backspin.
Yeah.
But what it will do is make it so that the BB rides the barrel the whole way.
well, I mean that's the whole theory behind it. And I've only ever seen it talked about by the Hunter Seeker, the
Yeah.
guy who made the RHOP stuff, and like I've only ever seen it twice, like 2 photos of it briefly talked about, and then
Yeah. So I don't know. I haven't tested it, so I don't know if that would help or hinder
Yeah.
it. But that's the motion of the BB inside. If there's wherever the air can get around is
Yeah.
where the BB is going to be sucked to.
well, definitely I've seen like recently anyway in the last I would say year with is specifically snipers, just because min-maxing is a huge factor with that, is the differences in barrels, like you were
Yeah.
saying with Crazy Jet. I can't say that they were like the first, because I don't know exactly, but I know that with the tapering of the barrel and stuff like that, they were one of the first, at least that I know of, and now everyone else is doing like the double barrel length
Yeah,
changes with the dual inner barrel bores. Then you have guys who have like ported barrels that I've seen actually on some sniper rifles, where it's like honeycombed at the end.
Yeah, I think in the end the dynamics of the barrels really change a lot depending on even just air pressure, like in the area where you're
Wintertime.
playing. Like
Yeah.
if it's a colder, thinner air, you're gonna have less compression than a humid, thicker air because
So weather does
Yeah.
depend on
it
your
changes
usage.
quite a bit. But that's why working with spring rifles, you're trying to take out the most amount of variables as you can, which is why I like springers. But I feel like a lot of that has to be looked into. And I have my theories on what stuff is, and I'll give my opinion on what it is. But I mean, as much as I believe it to be true and I've experienced it, it could be completely false. I mean,
Exactly.
Because
A lot of testing
it's
involved.
not it's not a,
It's expensive to figure out these kinds of questions.
Yeah.
for sure.
Hashtag Hyperloop.
it's, yeah, make an airsoft hyperloop, okay?
airsoft hyperloop. Yeah.
You guys are
So-
all just talking like Elon Musk over here.
That's okay. Me and you are just skipping over us. What's your like? What would you like to see in airsoft, like, to make better use of your Springer in terms of like what Novrich is doing is basically making a wider bore and
Yeah, bigger BBs and
bigger
wider bore.
BBs, heavier BBs. What would you like to, and in a safe manner too? What would you like to see?
So I think that's actually a really good step. If we're talking about the pain of BBs and stuff, technically if it's a larger BB, it has a higher mass, so more inertia, but it's a larger surface area to spread out the force. So maybe it hurts less. I don't know. It's all depending on the person. But I think, especially for springers, making those bigger BBs is a really good step to improving the sport because bigger mass less effect from wind and air resistance and stuff like that. But there's sort of it's a combination because it's bigger, so more surface area for outside forces to act on, but heavier, so less action by those forces. So it's sort of a handoff.
Would you go back to the 8mm platform? Probably that.
They're
Probably
way
not.
too heavy.
Well, I was just
Probably
gonna
not.
say, is that could that have never show its head again?
Well,
Or
so
like-
the problem with that is what I was going to say was you have to find the nice middle ground between FPS and size. So
Yeah.
your FPS limits, you can't shoot 580 FPS with a point. What? How big are the Novrich BBs? They're not 6 mil. They're
I
like
think they're
6.
It's like 6.8.
8.4,
6.8
right?
or
4.8
7
or-
mil, whatever it is. They're bigger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you can't shoot 480 FPS with that.
No, because you'll go over the joule limit,
Yeah.
which is what the.
So you go down.
Exactly.
You have to shoot slower, and because you're shooting slower,
now you're losing that.
now you're
factor.
losing the action against the wind and gravity and stuff like that.
So the whole reason of doing the upgrade in the beginning
Yeah.
anyway, right? Exactly.
But if you're able to use higher FPSs, then it is something good to utilize. So it's you got to find that middle ground.
It's area specific, right? Exactly.
Yeah.
So it comes down to like.
So I guess definitely for us in Canada, we are limited, I guess, in playing around with a lot of the limits because I know
If it's really windy, I think it's good to utilize it. But if it's not windy, I think regular, just heavyweight BBs is a better way to go.
okay.
It's the dangerous levels when you're using heavier weights, I see.
Yeah, it definitely because now you're playing around with like. The jewel factor of it and how easy it is to get injured and just
Well, you're walking
and-
the rules.
Well, and with how small the projectiles are, it's so easy to just lose, your eye or getting shot in the ear. As rare as it is, I've seen it happen, and it's not
Painful.
fun.
Not fun.
It is painful.
I'm gonna run to the washroom. You guys keep talking about your stupid.
And that was Dayton from House Gamers
Yeah,
Airsoft.
and that was Dayton, guys, from House Gamers.
While he's doing that, it's like I said, it's Halloween this weekend, so come bring your costumes out. There is that night game that's happening
On the 31st.
on the 31st.
Saturday.
I believe Julian has some cool prop plans to light up the night because how he loves lighting
He
up the night.
definitely has adds a twist to all
Oh,
his
yeah, he
events.
always
It's
adds
going to
a
be a
twist.
Halloween night game, so
Yeah.
I'm actually excited to see, and hopefully I'm able
I
to
wonder
stick
if
around.
there's gonna be a
Unfortunately, I
zombie.
won't be there, but
Yeah, he might have some zombies. Who knows? I'm speculating,
Ooh,
but they'd be cool. Night games,
zombies,
night vision.
Oh boy.
Stop.
What?
Stop.
Oh boy, I am ready.
Now you're ready.
Now I am ready. Okay.
Is that a PVS 14?
But it's an interesting it's an interesting topic to cover because like I said, we started off with springers, most of us or some of us, or some sort of springer, some sort of nerf, like even nerfs are springers basically.
100%.
Oh, yeah.
100%.
Oh,
Yeah, and then to end up
Except the full auto belt fed ones. I really hate the kids that get those nowadays because I'm not lying. Okay, Tack and I had to run around and cock the gun and shoot each other.
Yeah,
and,
same.
Just
They
go
don't
for the
even
dive
know.
onto the couch. They don't understand the pain of struggling to reload while your brother's coming around the corner and he's got a fully loaded.
that's basically
Oh,
a springer right there.
exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, I think we pretty much covered
I think
everything.
we covered a lot.
Yeah,
a lot.
we don't
And
have
then
any.
There was
yeah.
a lot. I didn't realize how much science is in this stuff.
Dude, it's all physics.
Yeah,
Dude,
well, when
and
you
we
get
really
into
appreciate you getting into it.
Yeah.
too.
Yeah. Well, I've always had a love of physics, and combining that with airsoft has been so cool.
Well, there's a little bit of engineering
Yeah.
in there as well, and then with the physics and the math portion of that too, right? A lot of people have a misconception of how much physics is involved in our daily lives, right? And
Yeah.
that's where I don't want to say how at least from my perspective when I was growing up, it was definitely not cool to to be or I don't know how do I say it because it's
well, I guess
to be dorky like that.
well,
Like-
I mean, no, because things have changed. I mean, it's not
easiest
the
thing-
classic socias and greasers and you got
Yeah.
your nerds and everything like that. I mean, I had a foot in every door when I was in high school. I hung out with the jocks, I hung out with the gamers,
Lucky guy.
Hey, that was me too. So yeah.
so I definitely understand, and that's why that's where it comes from me for the love of airsoft is just you have so many different backgrounds here, and we all have this one thing in common, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really cool.
All right. Well, I'll end it here. Thank you again for coming by,
Yeah,
Dayton.
thank you for
Yeah,
spending
sorry to
this
talk you to
It's
death.
been a great
and
time. Thank
sending
you.
us a ton of knowledge bomb. Yeah, it's crazy.
I should totally make a video of just like the physics of airsoft.
That'd
You
be a cool
should.
video.
I think that
You
would
should.
actually be kind of cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'll be boring for the kids, but it'll be interesting for the
No,
guys.
I'll
to
make like
actually-
It's
a-
for
I'll
the
make-
diehards.
Yeah,
It's the
it's
people who
for the
really
you,
want
got,
to.
you got to make a diehard
I
one.
think
yeah.
it could actually be kind of interesting, like make a Tom Scott sort of like idea. Of
Make it like your
actually-
game.
that's not a bad
I think
idea.
you should get Tim to narrate it, though.
No, I can do a good narrator.
No,
voice.
he does a good narration.
I know, but just
Tim puts me to sleep, honestly.
I don't want a pretentious Brit doing my voiceover. What the hell?
It's okay, he doesn't watch this, or maybe he does. I don't know.
No, I don't think he does.
We can say all the bad stuff now. He's not watching this far.
He's given up.
To the one
Tim's asleep.
person that's still listening, I really appreciate.
head.
Anyways, thank you again.
Yeah.
And you've been a great sort of like marketing thing for the field too, because of the fact that you've done all your videos here.
Yeah, I gotta send them an invoice for all the promotion I've been doing.
Well, we'll talk about that later. But other than that,
Yeah, we would love to have you back in the
Yeah.
future and stuff
Yeah,
like
anytime.
that.
Yeah,
And with that, I don't think we have any further news or events to share.
no, we're good.
That's been episode 21, guys.
Yep,
Of
there
the
you go.
Panther Airsoft
We
Folding
survived.
Table Talk.
Yep, and this is Poi signing out, and we got Mac over there.
Mac, next time we do AKs.
No,
Damn it.
and we got Tack over there,
Bye-bye, guys.
and we got Dayton.
Okay, guys, thanks for tuning in to this episode of Dayton's Cold.
Goodbye.